Oh, hey bitch. Oh, excuse you. Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry Annie. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey y'all, welcome to Happy Thursday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. The show we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news, hot topics, pop culture, all that good stuff. And sometimes we might dab on a little political stuff. Damn, I almost lost my chapstick. A little political stuff. If it deems within the constructs of the pop culture things that we talk about on the show. So if that's the show for you, definitely stick around because we have a lot of tea to spill today. Because we have a lot of developments. Assassin's Creed is getting a live action series. We got a Judge Dredd movie in the works from Taika Waititi. Basic Instinct is getting a reboot. And also Sarah Michelle Gellar, this has been a long going feud. And it had me thinking about this yesterday regarding Sarah Michelle Gellar and Jennifer Love Hewitt. Well, apparently, some people was thinking that Sarah Michelle Gellar is beefing with Jennifer Love Hewitt because they didn't speak to each other on the red carpet during the premiere of I Know What You Did Last Summer. And so Sarah Michelle Gellar is addressing it. We'll talk about it. Plus, Colin Kaepernick's wife. I know they've been calling her a longtime partner, but she actually said that they are married, so that's his wife. Nessa, girl. I don't know, it's feeling very funky now, even when I said that. She's basically coming to Nicki's defense with all this stuff going on with Jay-Z and Rock Nation. The SZA stuff, yeah, Nicki, you and your own with that. But the stuff with Jay-Z and Rock Nation, then I even saw this YouTube video where somebody was trying to say that I think Rock Nation out here trying to take Nicki out, like, of the union and in life. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Jane's Addiction, I thought it was done between them, but apparently they're suing each other. Perry Farrell filed a suit against Jane's Addiction, but Jane's Addiction, the other members, filed first against Perry Farrell, and now he's filing against them. So they suing each other. So we got to talk about that. This Gwyneth Paltrow biography, child, they revealing a lot of things. Yesterday we got into it about Madonna, or as I like to say, Madonna. So we talked about that yesterday, but they was going in on Ben Affleck and a whole bunch of, and her other past relationship, Brad Pitt. The stuff they mentioned about Ben Affleck, I could definitely see why Jennifer Lopez and him are no longer together. See, y'all been out here thinking, and even I may have co-signed that Jennifer might be the problem. I think Ben the problem, quiet as it's kept. But I kind of alluded that maybe he might be, because he's a man child, in the words of Sabrina Carpenter. So we got to talk about that. Plus, speaking of Jennifer, she's actually making a surprising marriage confession after going through 4 divorces, and she said this on her tour. Denise Richards apparently is, we didn't even talk about this, but apparently she is getting, her and her husband, Aaron Cyphers, whatever the fuck his name is, I don't care. But anyway, the man she married that we seen on the Housewives of Beverly Hills, apparently they're breaking up, but the gag is, she's saying that he was beating her up, and she showed pictures of her with a black eye. So we got all of that and a whole lot more. I didn't even know it was that serious. Plus, speaking of people who we just can't be taken serious, JoJo Siwa is announcing that she's going on tour. And the internet got thoughts. And we also got to talk about the diversity still, even though they're rolling back DI initiatives and stuff within the Trump administration, that ain't stopping them over at the Emmys because they still diversifying over there. So we got to get into the Emmy nominations and all the other stuff. We'll talk about the homosexual side. So, because that's more important stuff. Y'all still be nominating the same old damn people over and over, but we're going to talk about the diverse aspect. And last but certainly not least, we have to talk about this news that came out about Xunami Muse. Because, I found out from Candy Muse, and now it's just like it's making the rounds and all this other stuff. So we got to talk about that. This craziness where now it's gotten to the point where people aren't even waiting for ICE to grab them. People are self-deporting themselves. So, self-deportating. Yeah, self-deportating. So we'll get into that and a whole lot more. But before we get to those topics, please do me a solid, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And also be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I'll be putting in timestamps at the end of the show. As y'all know, I do every damn time I do an episode. So that way those who come in for the late live stream, or not even the live stream, what does it called? The playback. Y'all can pretty much just come in and go to the thing that y'all want to see instead of having to hear us rant and stuff in the live. So yeah, I see we got a lot of we got a lot of comments and stuff people saying already. We'll get to those, I'll know, after the first topic. Let me hit my banner. I'm mad because I went to I am a little under, the influence. This may be the first time I've done a show not completely sober, because I went out early. I told you I wanted to go see Superman again, and then afterwards I went out to eat. Went to Dallas BBQs. Initially I was gonna go to TGI Fridays, but by the time we got over there and stuff, paid for the like the ticket and stuff for the car, didn't even realize that the damn restaurant is not even open. So luckily I did a little Google smoogle on my phone. It was like 10 minutes away by vehicle. It was a Dallas BBQ. Went there, having some ribs, half chicken, half ribs, fries, what do you call it? Like the oh my god, cornbread. And then I had me one of those pina coladas with the Hennessy shot. And I left it in my fridge, so I don't feel like getting up and getting it. I didn't finish the whole thing because when you drink them little frozen drinks, if you gotta really sit that sucker slow, because if you like really try to drink it all down, you end up with like brain freeze, and it's like damn near 100 degrees in New York, and I wasn't trying to run around here with no damn head freeze and stuff. But anyway, so without further, so that was just what I did today. That's why we're getting a late show, and that's why I call it After Hours, because it is after hours. With Chris Avalon, because I'm like, if I ever do a late night talk show, which is the dream, I do want to do a late night show. That would be what I would call it. After Hours with Chris Avalon. But anyway, let's get into the show and let's talk about Assassin's Creed. Now, we already know we've had a live action Assassin's Creed before. That was with Michael K. Williams, who sadly passed away, Marion Cotillard, and Michael Fassbender. I actually had the pleasure of meeting all of them because when I worked at AMC in Times Square, we had the red carpet premiere at that location. So I actually happened to work that event and stuff, got to meet all the celebrities. It was cool. Unfortunately, the movie was crap and nobody remembers it. But now Netflix is apparently getting in on the whole situation and they're giving us a live action series. So according to Deadline, they said the project will be created, showrun, and executive produced by Roberto Patino, who created a show called DMZ. And I think that was the show that was with oh my god, what the hell is her name? Cory Booker's ex. I cannot remember her damn name. That's how good it was. Rosario Dawson. I don't know why I couldn't remember her damn name. First of all, she's on that other show that we watch over there on the Disney Channel, Ahsoka, which I'm actually looking forward to. Even though Ahsoka season 1 wasn't that great, I like her in the role. I just hope the writing is better. But DMZ, I watched like maybe 2 episodes, and I'm like, this is stupid. And you see why I didn't come back. And then they did Westworld. Westworld was good during season 1, but then and then it was like halfway through season 2, it was good. And then it kind of just fell off. And it was so bad that apparently HBO removed it from their roster. Like, you can't even watch it anywhere. So if you wanted to ever go back and rewatch, not Assassin's, if you ever want to go back and watch Westworld, unfortunately, you can't do it. But then there's another person by the name of David Weiner who did Halo and Homecoming. Executive producers also include Gerard Guillemot, Margaret Boykin, a bunch of other people that nobody knows and y'all probably don't even care about because they're in the background. Now, they said Assassin's Creed, the series, is a high-octane thriller centered on the secret war between 2 shadowy factions, one set in determining mankind's future through control and manipulation, while the other fights to preserve free will. The series follows its characters across pivotal historical events as they battle to shape humanity's destiny. Saying, we've been fans of Assassin's Creed since release in 2007. Every day we work on this show, we came away excited and humbled by the possibilities that Assassin's Creed opens to us. This is what Weiner and Patino stated in a joint statement. Beneath the scope, the spectacle, the parkour, and the thrills is a baseline for the most essential kind of human story, but people searching for purpose, struggling with questions of identity and destiny and faith. It's about power and violence and sex and greed and vengeance. And then they went on to add, but more than anything, this is a show about the value of human connection across cultures, across time, and it's about what we stand to lose as a species when these connections break. We've got an amazing team behind us with the folks at Ubisoft and our champions at Netflix, and we're committed to creating something undeniable for fans all over the planet. So while I actually think Assassin's Creed will work better as a series, hopefully they won't steer us wrong and it actually will be good, but we need to take a little trip back not long ago when they decided to turn another video game into a TV series called Resident Evil. And we saw how bad that turned out. So I'm a little worried because it's Netflix, number one, and Netflix, 9 times out of 10, they're really good with their shows. They're never really that great with their movies. You out of the many movies they release, like 100% of the movies they release, maybe like 5%, you'll find a good one, a diamond in the rough. And that's saying a lot. And that's me being generous, actually, because majority of the movies y'all release on y'all channels is crap. Like original movies. Well, not even memorable. Most recently, the Old Guard 2. I don't know what the hell that was. And I like the first one. So while I'm on one hand excited for an Assassin's Creed movie, as I stated before, I'm a little nervous because it's Netflix. And a lot of times y'all have had more misses than hits in regards of like sustainability with your shows. And then I don't even know if I'm really wanting to invest in your shows because if something's too expensive or whatever the case is, y'all be quick to cancel a show after season 1. So why even try to invest in anything y'all put over there? But because I'm an Assassin's Creed fan, I will check it out. But as I stated before, I'm going to be skeptical. But they also said now to we're getting other video game adaptations from Netflix, which will be Castlevania, Cyberpunk, Edge Runners, and the upcoming Splinter Cell Death Watch. Arcane, based on Riot Games' League of Legends game franchise, became an Annie and Emmy award-winning animated series. Well, I will say this. Arcane is actually pretty good. I like that show. Castlevania has been good. Cyberpunk Edge Runners, I don't even think that did that come out? I don't think I've seen that, and I haven't seen Splinter Cell Death Watch. So I don't even know if that's there. And y'all already know, like that's another thing with Netflix too. Y'all drop stuff on y'all streaming service, and I don't even be knowing it's up there. Like somebody got to tell me, or I got to be scrolling, and all of a sudden I come across it, and I'm like, well, who got? First of all, I hate having to sit and spend like 30 minutes trying to scroll to find something to watch. That's like one of the most annoying things about streaming services when you sitting there scrolling. That was me last night on Prime Video trying to find something to watch. Then I finally found something. I put it on, went right to sleep. Why does that always happen? Like the fact of the matter is like you'll watch something and then you're scrolling and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I'll watch this. And the minute you put it on, you dead to the world. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? My fellow Assassin's Creed fans, are you excited that Netflix is getting in the business of making this a live action series? Do you even trust that they will actually do a good job with developing this series? Because, it's like we've been burned before. That movie was not that good. I mean, I think it started out good, but then it just kind of went completely left. So hopefully they'll get it together and it will be, more arcane live action and less Resident Evil. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right. Oh, geez, we got a lot of comments in here. Hello, Robert. It said, not used to seeing you start. I know, because I was out all day. So I did a late one. I'm Team Love. Okay. I don't even know what's going on. Wait, what you talking about, Willis? And Jennifer is getting body shape. Oh, Jennifer Love Hewitt. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. People acting like she gained 300 pounds. I'm like, wait, first of all, where the hell y'all been? Like, if you ever watched 911, you knew she wasn't like a stick figure. Can we talk about how Colbert got canceled because of President Trump? I don't know if it was necessarily that. I mean, there's been a lot of people out here who've been talking about President Trump. I mean, The View talks about him. Jon Stewart talks about him. A lot of people talk about him. The only ones that don't talk about anybody is what's that boy name? Jimmy Fallon. He don't talk. His show irritates me because I'm like, what's the point of you being on here? You don't talk about nobody. You always try to act like the world's full of lollipops and rainbows and things. But I don't know if it's necessarily that. I mean, I was thinking when I first heard the reason of the show ending after next year, I thought it was because when he tried to come at Zoran during his interview, talking about the whole that Israel have a right to, that typical talking point BS that they like to spew. And meanwhile, he had a Jewish person sitting right next to him. So it's like, yeah, I know where y'all going with that. I mean, he knew how to answer the question regardless, but she does. Well, this. Well, look, black men love Jennifer Love Hewitt's curves, so and her husband like it. Her husband was on that show, The Client List. That's where she met him. When Madonna and Gwyneth first became friends, Gwyneth was dating Brad Pitt, and Madonna had just started seeing guy. Yeah, we don't want. No, we don't. We want conservative medias in our shows. We want conservative media. Said I'm lit. Okay. Needed more push. I just saw last summer twice, going again 5 more times. You actually watched it 2 times? And you going 5 more times? You are crazy. Yeah, I know. I've heard that I've already heard all the things, in regards to like all the reviewers who've watched it. Like Christian Harloff talked about, he liked it a lot, and he said he's not a big horror guy. Killjoy Jake did not like it at all. Even though he's a big horror. It's funny how the hardcore horror movie guys, some of them didn't like it, but people who really aren't that fully invested in horror talking about that they liked it more, which I find it weird. But I don't know, to each his own. I've been hearing mixed reviews, but I'm still gonna go see it. I have my ticket, and I was gonna bring this up when I told about it. I'm going tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock in the morning. So I went and bought my ticket. Actually, funny enough, I bought my ticket today before I went to go see Superman. So I was like, let me just go on my phone and just start, because normally I do it on the laptop and everything. But now that I got A-list, I'd be like, okay, let me go on my phone. Let me look it up, see the seating and everything. It's so much easier to do it that way. And then when I went to AMC, this is something I've never seen before, because all the other movie theaters don't really do it. But I went to the one in Fresh Meadows. You can go up to the concession stand. You don't even have to like put in your order with the people there. They have machines that you could literally just order your food, and then they'll give you your stuff right. I'm like, okay, well, I said, if they had these back when I worked at AMC, I wouldn't have minded doing concessions, because I'm like, all I got to do is just give you your order. I don't have to sit up here and take cash and none of that stuff, unless you are one of those people on that list. But then the downside about it is it takes money out of, like, it prevents people from working. Like, you need a lot of people if you want to put in orders or ring people up and that sort of thing. It takes work from the people because you got the machines that's doing everything. So that's the only downside about it. I think they could do a good job with Assassin's Creed. I did like the Avatar. They had an Avatar series? Where the hell was I? On Netflix. Brenny Group banned sport, saying we need to wait until Netflix. Some of us can't afford the movies, or because of kids, it's not even possible to have a date night as well. Brandy group band who? You said she group band spoilers. Yeah, they are. I like the first Old Guard. The second one was like, I fell asleep on it. And then I was watching another review. A guy said he did the same thing. I'm like, I'm glad that wasn't just me. I didn't like how it cut off. Yeah, I thought that ending was so dumb. It's like, why are you leaving us on a cliffhanger when I don't even know what the hell was going on in the whole damn movie? We don't know. You cheated us out of a full film. Where's the end? I did. I saw a Mortal Kombat trailer. Because where was I? Oh, I was actually at the movies, going through my phone, and I didn't check the message or whatever, but I went on YouTube because I was like, what's popping? On YouTube. So I saw the Mortal Kombat trailer, and I saw the new Tron Ares trailer. So I already said, y'all could just take my damn money, because October I'm going to be in the theater watching both movies. The Mortal Kombat 2 trailer looks really good, even though you could tell that was not Carl Urban doing all that action stuff. Like, there's no way he was doing splits and like high, like the Jean-Claude Van Damme high kicks in the air and all that, and flipping it and all that. I was like, that is not it. Even though that's the funny, and that I just find that that's kind of like the irony of it all, like they're playing to that. And then some people are like, oh, he's too old to play Johnny Cage. I totally get where they're going with that. They're making it like he's some washed up 90s action movie star who gets another chance, I guess, at whatever it is by doing the whole Mortal Kombat tournament. So I like that angle. And the fact that the kills look pretty cool. It looks it doesn't look cheaply directed. It actually looks good. So I'm excited to see it. And plus, Tron Ares looks good too, now that I know what the damn movie's about. I'm just hoping that with all the allegations surrounding Jared Leto, that it doesn't hurt the movie. Or do people even care? Because we haven't really heard anything about it. Thursday has become the new midnight, but with 1 or 2 more showings, so I'm lying for Scream 7 before the Friday release. Yeah, I said I was gonna go see it tomorrow. Oh, you said I wonder if the creators have to pay the promo because I knew about Medea's new movie as well as Stranger Things 5. But the creators of Assassin's Creed got to pay the promo. Netflix seems to do better with animated versions of video games. So let's hope they will finally get it right. Yeah, that's what I hope. And stop just throwing money at stuff and y'all actually take the time to develop shows. But don't take too damn long like Stranger Damn Things. How long did they take to film this final season? 3 years? And it was like what? Not even, I don't even feel like it's 8 episodes. I think it's like 4 episodes, right? In the first half, because they split it into so many different groups, which I don't like that. I'm just like, why don't y'all just do week to week like every damn body else? I don't know why they made her bald either. I was confused, but okay. I was like, we got ourselves, y'all made her look like FK Twigs up in here. Okay, so now I was like, where we going? All right, y'all. Now, speaking of, remakes and things, let's get into Judge Dredd because apparently we're getting a Judge Dredd movie, which I've been wanting for the longest because I love Dredd. I love Dredd. I didn't like Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd is the one with Sylvester Stallone, where he basically didn't wear the helmet the whole damn movie because, I guess in the 90s, they were like, oh no, it's Sylvester Stallone, he's a movie star. Nobody wants to watch a movie star with his face covered up. But that's the Judge Dredd character. You don't see his face. Whereas Carl Urban, since we're speaking about him, because we were just talking about Mortal Kombat 2, Carl Urban, I thought was a much better Dredd. And the fact of the matter was, you never saw his face in the whole movie. I actually love that movie. I even love the fact that they had my girl Lena Headey playing Mama up in there. She was, I always love women as gangsters because I feel like they're way more brutal than men are. So I love what she did up in the film. I felt like it was gritty. I love the whole overall grittiness of it. It was super violent. And even the slow-mo shots and stuff that was up in there. I just thought, who wrote that? I think it was, what was it, Alex Garland? It was such a good movie. And what has always irked me about that movie is the fact that it didn't do well, so they haven't given us another one. And I just like I just love that tone. So I was excited to hear the news or maybe a couple of hours ago that we're getting a Judge Dredd movie. But the word on the curve is it's going to be directed by Taika Waititi, aka Rena Ora's husband, who gave us Jojo Rabbit, and the last 2 Thor movies. I don't try to count Love and Thunder because I hated that movie, but Ragnarok was a good one. It was giving me Flash Gordon tease when or vibes or whatever with the whole tone. But anyway, so according to Deadline, they said a hot package is heating up the market from 2 high-profile talents and an infamous crime stopper. Sources have confirmed to Deadline that Taika Waititi is attached to direct a new Judge Dredd movie from a script by Drew Pearce, who wrote films, which got me on board because I loved Fall Guy, even though it flopped at the box office, and Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. That was a good one. I think that was the one that we first got. Wasn't that the one we first got? My girl Ilsa Faust, which I'm still mad that y'all killed her off in Dead Reckoning Part 1. But Rogue Nation, that was I feel like that was like one of the better Mission Impossible movies. But so they said insiders said the package just went to market and no offers are out yet, but given the parties involved, it should certainly get some looks. Chris Kingsley, Jason Kingsley, and Ben Smith of Rebellion Developments, Roy Lee of Vertigo Entertainment, Jeremy Platt, Natalie Vicuso, and Pierce are among the producers involved in the package. Created by John Wagner and artist Carlos Ezquerra, Dredd is a police officer stationed in the metropolis of Mega City 1, where officers are empowered to be the judge, jury, and executioner. Hollywood has adapted the property multiple times, including, as we talked about, the 1995 film starring Sylvester Stallone, which basically makes that movie 30 years old. Jesus, I feel old. And a 2012 version starring Carl Urban. I could not believe that movie came out in 2012. So that is literally 13 years ago. Where the hell did time go? And that movie still holds up. And look at Carl Urban. Don't he look good in this picture as Dredd? When you see the helmet and that lip? Well, he's frowning, but, he definitely suited the role. Now, they said details behind the new project are unknown other than it featured some of more lighter comedic touches to the property in for which Waititi films are known. Now, here's the thing. I will admit I'm not that well versed in Judge Dredd, so I don't know if it warrants sort of like that lighter Taika tone, but I feel like they were on the right track with the previous Dredd movie regarding Carl Urban. If you want to do lighter touches when you can make him be kind of sort of like little smartassy, not Deadpool smartass. Like we don't need him dropping stupid little one-liners and stuff like Deadpool. But if he wants to come out and make a little sarcastic line or two, like I'm here for that. But the action has got to be awesome. I feel like we should still embody the kind of the tone of, I mean, from based off of what I've gotten from the comics, I don't think that Taika's tone fits that. I could be wrong, but I actually prefer, if we're thinking about based off of what we've seen on the screen, I prefer the overall tone that we got with Dredd versus. I mean, don't get me wrong. I also did not particularly think that Ragnarok was a bad movie. I like the tone of that film where it had like moments of fun and lightheartedness, and then it had like a little bit of that darkness to the film. So it was perfectly balanced. I don't know what happened with Love and Thunder. I don't know if maybe that was like when when Bob Chapek came in and kind of just let people off let Taika off the rails. I feel like you have to reel him in, not let him off the leash too much, because if you let him off the leash, then we get Love and Thunder and we don't get something like Ragnarok. So while I am a fan of Taika Waititi's work and I'm a fan of the previous Dredd, I'm just hoping that whoever takes a look at this, that it doesn't get too much on the cheese. Because that was like my fear also, like when I saw Superman. And I like James Gunn, and I think he's a brilliant writer. But sometimes there's a specific type of humor that you see that certain directors have that they like to incorporate in their films, that it's like, you either love it or you hate it. And that's kind of like what I get with this. So excited to see it because, like I said, I like Taika's work. But I just hope it doesn't get, as I said many a times already, I need the balance. So I need a little more Ragnarok, a little less Love and Thunder. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? There's a roar going around that Taika Waititi is developing a Judge Dredd movie. And since they are developing this movie, who could they possibly get to play Judge Dredd? Do people think that maybe they need to bring Carl Urban back? I'm sure that's what a lot of people are going to say because they love that movie. So it's like, yeah, it's under new management, but bring back that previous actor. Carl Urban still looks good. I think, what is he, in his 50s? And you kind of want somebody that's been doing this for a long time. That's, a little seasoned. I don't know if they want to do like, let's not do we have to make him, somebody who's been doing this for like just started out. No, I need somebody who's like, if we're going to do Judge Dredd needs to be doing this for years. Like he's deep into his career. He's a little seasoned, that sort of thing. So I would love to see Carl Urban come back, but if he doesn't come back, who do you think should play him? Off the top of my head, I really can't think of anybody. I mean, what if they probably say Glenn Powell? I mean, I do like Glenn Powell. And I'm looking forward to seeing him in The Running Man. So maybe they could put him in it. I don't know. Or Miles Teller. I don't know. Just let me know who y'all think should be in playing that part in the comments down below. You said Estranged, I think episode is 2 to 4 hours long. Oh, so what I said is like they're really long episodes. That's probably why it's short seasons. But I don't think it's 4 hours. I think each episode is probably gonna be like 90 minutes to 2 hours. So I think like, yeah, each episode is gonna be like a little mini movie. 4 hours isn't a mini movie. No, that's like that's a long ass movie. That's what that is. I'm guessing that the last episode will be the longest. But yeah, I've heard that it's going to be like each episode is like 90 minutes to 2 hours, but that would make sense. Okay. Okay, so now let's move on and let's take a trip. Since we already took a trip back to the 90s, let's stay there a little bit. So I was not expecting to hear that we were getting a reboot of Basic Instinct. I don't understand what is Hollywood's obsession with digging into old IPs and bringing it back. Like, okay, so we got I Know What You Did Last Summer coming out, or it's out already. Sorry, because it's like 10 o'clock at night as I'm filming this. But so there's this whole nostalgia thing that's going. But I was like, first of all, as young as I was in '93, I had no business watching some damn Basic Instinct. But child, I saw it. That and Sharon Stone's coochie. Because remember that infamous leg cross, which has been parodied many a times, and it ended up in I think it was a spook called Fatal Instinct. But yeah, I had no business seeing this movie, that and Showgirls, but yet again, I did at my young age, my underage, young age. Oh wait, it came out in '92. Damn. But anyway, so now apparently they're remaking this movie, and Amazon MGM Studios United Artists and Scott Stuber have acquired the rights. Now, Basic Instinct writer Joe Esterhaus is returning to pen a not yet titled reboot of the Paul Verhoeven helmed box office hit, which starred Michael Douglas as Detective Nick Curran and Sharon Stone as his case seductive prime suspect, Catherine Trammell, a manipulative crime novelist. And I'm wondering if they're going to stick with the fact that she was bisexual, so playing that up and showing that up in there. And I just heard that Michael Douglas retired, so he's no longer making. He's done with acting, which is good. Sometimes you gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them. I mean, look, we got older people out here still, for the first time getting. Well, I heard that at I think how old is he? Harrison Ford. I think he's like 82. Just heard he was nominated for an Emmy for I think that 1923, whatever the hell the name of that damn show is, 1882. I don't know, one of them damn shows that's over there on Paramount Plus. And Kathy Bates at her age, which she's like what 78, I believe, the oldest person to ever be nominated for an Emmy, female. So older people out here, look, they tell you it gets greater later. So I don't know why people are trying to throw shade at older people. So they said, speaking of older, they said, quote, to those who question what an 80-year-old man is doing writing a sexy erotic thriller, the rumors of my cinematic impotence are exaggerated in ages. This is what Esterhaus said in a statement. I call my writing partner the twisted little man, and he lives somewhere deep inside me. He was born 29 and he will die 29, and he tells me he is sky high up to write this piece and provide viewers with a wild and orgasmic ride that makes me very happy. Well, here's the thing. I don't know why people think that when he's 80 years old, he's not dead. His brain still works. So why wouldn't he be able to sit up here and write some crazy erotic thriller? And the question remains is, are they looking to cast newer people that I guess play? Obviously, I guess they are, because they have to find a man to play the Michael Douglas role, and who would be interested in play it. Now I don't know who that would be, but I was looking online and I knew the obvious one, even though I thought of it, but I think everybody thought of it pretty much. A lot of people said that to play the Sharon Stone part, even though I would like to see Sharon Stone kind of come back for this part though, in some sort of a way. Because remember when she did Basic Instinct 2, which was not good. A lot of people saying Sydney Sweeney should play the Catherine Trammell role, which I'm like, that's a good one. I've heard Margot Robbie. That would be a good one. Excuse me, that would be a good one. So those are the only two I could think of. Now, as far as like the male actor, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head who would be able to play that part. But I'd watch it. That's what I was saying, because it was like, yeah, I'll watch it when it come out if it's good. But the thing is, we don't know how the movie ended. Because remember when she got in the bed with him at the end, and it, that infamous ice pick chair. So it was like, okay, so Catherine Trammell did do it. But who knows? They might change it up. So anyway, they said Essa is a Hungarian-American journalist turned screenwriter whose hit titles include so many movies that I've absolutely grew up loving. Flashdance, which came out in 1983, Jagged Edge, that was a good one. 1985, and as stated, Basic Instinct, becoming known for his provocative style of screenwriting that explored themes of sexuality, power, and moral ambiguity. Esterhaus opened up about his time in the film industry in his acclaimed memoir, Hollywood Animal. Now, Stuber's next films includes Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, or as they would say, Frankenstein, for Netflix, and Deliver Me From Nowhere, the Scott Cooper directed Bruce Springsteen biopic starring Jeremy Allen White for 20th Century Studios and Disney, both which premiere in the fall. So I think, well, they basically said that, you know what, with Joe Esterhaus coming on and talking about a movie which basically Basic Instinct covered all those themes, sexuality, power, and moral ambiguity, and her being someone, him being a cop, and her being someone who worked she was a crime novelist, and that whole world of, you know, murder and intrigue and all those things. I feel like, what does that look like in, well, if he's writing it now, I guess they'll probably have it out in 2027, 2028. So what does it look like in the 2020s? That whole world of sexuality, power, moral ambiguity. I feel like moral ambiguity, has gone out the window for a while now. Like, that's just non-existent in this point. So as stated, you know what? I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this movie. I'm a fan of the original Basic Instinct. So I'm, I always would roll my eyes, be like, look, why we got to keep getting remakes and all this other stuff, I guess. But at this point, I don't even fight it anymore. I'm just like, okay, they just going, Hollywood going to do what they want to do. We either support it or we don't. If the movie sucks, at least we got the original movie that we can go back to and watch. Speaking of which, I think it's on like MGM Plus or one of those channel, or Prime Video. I gotta go check that out on it, because I was like, wait a minute, I could have sworn that I just saw it up there the other day, and I've been meaning to get around to it. Now, speaking of Sharon Stone, since y'all been talking about remaking Basic Instinct, you know what would be a good movie to remake, even though the original wasn't that? And this is the thing, I feel like, why don't they try to remake the bad ones? Y'all always remake the good ones. You always try to touch the classics because it's familiar, and people are like, oh, familiarity, yeah, but no, like, remake the new ones. Like, remake Waterworld. I have a sore spot with Waterworld, and shout out to Weird Al Yankovic, because he does a whole bit in his concert about Waterworld, and oh wait, it wasn't him. It was actually one of the artists that opened up for him that does like a Waterworld bit into about how he loves Kevin Costner and all those other stuff. It was funny, but I think y'all should remake Sliver. Remember that movie? When Sharon Stone was in this building and Billy Baldwin was just hunching throughout the whole damn film, and they had like the cameras, and they were spying on the people in the building and all the crazy stuff that's going on. Now that's a movie that we definitely need a remake for, because with the exploration of voyeurism and tech, especially in this day and age, I think that is a perfect movie to actually look at and remake. Because even though the movie wasn't that great, I do have a soft spot for that film, so that could definitely use one. And look, these days we definitely need more sexually charged films, because the way they be talking about, oh, Gen Z not really sexual, child, trust and believe, yes they are. Y'all be out here hunching more than me. I never thought that the day would come when I would actually say that. But anyway, I say, well, let's say, what do you guys think of this story? Are you looking forward to seeing this new Basic Instinct reboot, or is this yet another film that's a classic that Hollywood need to just leave the hell alone? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. They even spoofed that leg. Mm-hmm. I know. That's why I said that leg crossing scene is so iconic. And then you had the fat dude from that got eaten by the Velociraptor in the first Jurassic Park, trying to look between her legs. I thought I thought I just mentioned two people. Somebody wasn't listening. It was I said either the names that have been floating around that a lot of people, I was like, okay, I agree. Sydney Sweeney, because she got them big old tig old bitties, so that's probably why they're trying to think they automatically say Sydney Sweeney. Or I've heard some people say Margot Robbie. I'd say with those two names, I was like, okay, I could definitely see those two playing the Catherine Trammell character. As far as like who could play the Michael Douglas part, I have no idea. I can't think of no male leads of today off the top of my head. I'm like, who? Ryan Gosling? First of all, Ryan Gosling's every damn thing, and he busy, so they can't get him. I would have to go through I'm like really look at the list of who is today's top actors. Yeah, I could see Margot doing it, but I was like, but I'm sure a lot of people gonna be like, Sydney Sweeney, because I just want to see her naked. That's why. I'm trying to remember, was she ever naked on Euphoria? I can't remember. That show's been off so damn long. I can't remember what happened on season 2, and I'm not rewatching it because that show was a lot to get through. But anyway, let's move on, y'all. Okay, so let's talk about Sarah Michelle Gellar and Jennifer Love Hewitt. Apparently, there's word on the curb that these two are feuding because people were saying that they didn't take pictures with each other at the I Know What You Did last summer premiere. So people out here are speculating that Jennifer Love Hewitt and Sarah Michelle Gellar got a beef. They got a beef going on. So now the actress took to Instagram to address fan speculation after Hewitt was missing from Gellar's photo dump with the cast, including her husband, Freddie Prinze Jr., at the LA premiere on Tuesday night. Someone once said, the beef is real. As another added, it makes me so sad there is zero recognition for Jennifer Love Hewitt. Now, Gellar, who's 48, swiftly why y'all always gotta put people's age on blast? Swiftly responded to the critics in the comments, writing, for everyone asking, I never got to see at Jennifer Love Hewitt, who is fantastic in the movie. She said, I was inside with my kids when the big carpet happened, she added, and unfortunately, JLH didn't come to the after party. If you've ever been to one of these, it's crazy. I sadly didn't get pics with most of the cast, but that doesn't change how amazing I think they all are. Unfortunately, some things happen only in real life and not online. And she's right about that, that if you've never been to a red carpet, they are crazy. I've worked many of red carpets, and let me tell you, it is insane. There's always people shouting and yelling, trying to get you to pose and take a picture and all this other stuff. And then you got people prodding you and pulling you over here, there, and everywhere. And then you got people asking you questions. And then it's like, the movie is not necessarily about Sarah Michelle Gellar. Remember, her character was killed off in the first damn movie, which, quiet as it's kept, if we really want to be frank, I truly feel that Helen Shivers was more of a final girl than Julie James. While I love me some Jennifer Love Hewitt, I'm sorry, but I just feel like Sarah Michelle Gellar outacted her in that first movie. Her character had a much bigger arc. She had one of the better kill sequences. Like the whole build up to that, I'm like, damn, Kevin Williamson must have really loved writing Helen Shivers, because I feel like she should have been the final girl. Julie James, to me, and I love, like, I always have to reiterate this by saying I love me some Jennifer Love Hewitt, and I do. But she came across so annoying and whiny in the first damn movie. And don't even get me started about I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, where they fast tracked that damn movie. And a lot of the stuff they were doing in that film made no damn sense. Which means that I'm a glutton for punishment because I'm going to go see the new movie tomorrow morning. So I don't think that there's a beef going on. Or maybe there is some kind of animosity because, everybody said over the years that they preferred like Sarah Michelle Gellar ate up her role, like she outacted Julie James. That character, like her character deserved to live, and Julie James to me did not feel like a final girl in that whole context, which is why I've always said that when we talk about I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream and stuff, I Know What You Did Last Summer, to be honest, was never really in the conversation about like iconic slasher movies. I mean, we watched it and we enjoyed it for what it was, and I think a lot of us are going to go to the theater for the nostalgia aspect of it. But me, I was more into Scream. I was a Scream kid. Scream has given us a lot more sequels, and it seemed like people were more hungry for it. Whereas it's been over 2 decades since we got another I Know What You Did Last Summer. Y'all didn't care about I'll Always Know. We don't even count that one. And y'all didn't care about the Netflix show. So they've tried to make this into a thing, and I Know What You Did Last Summer just didn't work. But maybe Jennifer Caden Robinson, who was the director, has found a way to make this franchise relatively interesting. Now, another thing I wanted to get into before I finish with the rest of the story, I saw there was a lot of people online that were body shaming Jennifer Love Hewitt, which I took issue with because they're like, oh, she got fat and all this other stuff. Yeah, there was a lot of fat shaming and stuff going on. And I'm just like, first of all, she looks good. She had 3 kids. Her husband, who's an actor, loves her curves, and she's always kind of been this thick. She's been this thick for a while. Do y'all not have y'all not seen her on the show 911? Like she's on that show. Like she hasn't been in hibernation just eating bonbons and raising them babies. She's been in between getting pregnant. She has a series regular part on 911, which is a hugely popular show. So Jennifer's been out here doing her thing, and she look. I'd rather her be this than being out here being propped and sucked out and doing all the crazy Hollywood things just so she can maintain her thinness. And I felt like she was a little uncomfortable on the red carpet because she keeps posing where it was just like she had her hands, as you see in the picture, on her hips, like she was trying to hide her curves and being a little thick. And it's like, no, embrace that, because I saw there was a lot of black men, trust and believe, black men love meat. They love thickness on a woman. They don't want these little stick figures. They don't want these girls out here who are out here buying asses and hips and things of that nature. So Jennifer Love Hewitt looks like just a regular woman. She's still pretty. She just got a little meat on her bones. And I like that she's representing that, she's repping for the thick girls, thick girls. I was trying to pull up this cast photo. Wait, hold on. I was like, what is going on? Okay, thank you, because I think it was like I put thing twice. I know some people was talking about Tyreek Withers' outfit because he had on like these pants with a skirt, like you could say. I was like, I don't know what all that. First of all, it's too damn hot in LA for you to even be wearing. You wearing a long sleeve shirt, a sweater vest. It looked like a kilt. With like this is doing too much. And yeah, you are giving model good looks and things, but it was like, nah, that outfit, it looked like he was trying too hard. It literally is giving like I was trying to see who the whole cast is, but the killer is in this photo. Let me shut up. Not spoil anything. But so anyway, so this says several fans praise Gellar for addressing Feud speculation, with one chiming in, "Thanks for clearing that up, Queen. Was making me a little sad because I love you both so much. Thanks, Queen. The fans deserved it." Another chimed in. Others defended the Scooby-Doo star, adding, "No need to explain. Some people just love to feed into false drama." Another person said, "These people are very disturbing. You can take a picture with whoever you want, Queen," a fan added. Now, Gellar showed her support for Prince Jr., who's 49, in his role in the latest I Know What You Did Last Summer film, which saw him and Hewitt, 46, reprise their roles as Ray Bronson and Julie James, respectively. The trio started alongside each other in the original 97 film, but Gellar, who portrayed Helen Shivers, was killed off. Prince Jr. and Hewitt also returned to the movie sequel the following year. Gellar and Prince Jr. meanwhile met while filming I Know What You Did Last Summer, but didn't take their relationship to the next level until 2000. The couple tied the knot in 2002 and it later welcomed the daughter Charlotte Grace, who's 15, and a son Rocky James, who's 12. So she's got a teenager and a preteen. And you know who also was at the premiere? Well, I'm like, damn, he looked the same, just older. Seth Green. Seth Green was there too. I was like, okay. If only I would have thought about bringing the picture up. You could see what he looked like. But like he still got the red hair, and you can see that he got the gray in the beard. So it's like he looked the same. And I think it's because he's short. That's why, they age slower. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing the movie. As I said, I'm going to see it in a couple of hours. I know that, like I said before, people have always run around with this alleged rumor that Sarah Michelle Gellar and Jennifer Love Hewitt have had a feud with each other and didn't really get along throughout the years, which I think that was kind of bubbling. Like it started to reignite around the time when there was negotiations, because like when they shot all the movie, Jennifer Love Hewitt wasn't in Australia with the whole cast. Freddie was out there filming, and the other cast was out there filming, and she kind of came on late. And I think all her scenes were shot. I don't know if she did the Australia thing, and it could have been because she was probably filming 911 at the time. But she didn't come on board and start filming her stuff, I think, until they brought the franchise back to LA. So, as I stated before, I'm looking forward to seeing this movie I keep saying when it comes out. It's out already. When I get up tomorrow morning and I take my behind to the theater on 34th Street and check it out in Manhattan. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you think it's much ado about nothing, or do y'all really or do you really believe the rumors that Sarah Michelle Gellar and Jennifer Love Hewitt, too many people with 3 damn names, got a little beefation situation going on, Asian. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. So I don't know why Jennifer is getting so much body shaming, because people are just evil and negative. When it comes to, I still know everybody dragged the tanning bed scene, saying that it's impossible to do what Ben Willis said. Yeah, they could have easily broke that freaking zip tie, because that's what, like, you really burning her to death with that thing zip tied. If you put some handcuffs on, I could have understood. But it was just a lot of dumb stuff that was going on in that movie. My favorite show she did was I like Ghost Whisperer. People called her 90s thick, saying if this was the 90s, she'd be sexy. Marilyn Monroe was that body size. Were women that thick in the 90s? I would think you'd have to go back a little further. Like, we talk about Marilyn Monroe, then you got to take it back to like the 50s. That's sort of because yeah, they were, and the 70s too. If you ever watch like a lot of Giallo movies, they had women who were thick like that, like big boobs and nice and big old hips. Their stomachs wasn't like 6-packs. Like, you saw curvy women. Like a lot of those Giallo's Italian horror films, you saw a lot of that. So if she was back in the days of Marilyn Monroe, or even Mariska Hargitay's mother, Jane Mansfield, thick women. So I don't understand, like, yeah, in the 90s, no, the girls were skinny. I said Jennifer said because she was filming 911, she didn't know for sure for a while if she was even going to be in the movie. Mm-hmm. And so it said, yeah, there was like the whole the scheduling with 911 and them scheduling the film and that sort of thing. So it's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, y'all. Let's get into this story, because we've been talking. Look, Nicki been going on her little tirade for the past 2 weeks, and it looked like she got an ally in Nessa girl. I don't know why, because the funky doesn't even now. I got to be out Nessa girl, Nessa girl. Anybody named Nessa, I got to be calling them Nessa girl. But Nessa Diab, I think is how you say her name. She's basically calling out Jay-Z and Roc Nation, accusing them of blackballing her husband, Colin Kaepernick, and now Nicki Minaj through their power in the entertainment industry. So this whole bending the knee thing, see, child, now I believe it, because it be your own damn people at the end of the day that will sit and sabotage you before these white folks, just so that way they can still maintain their seat at the table. Well, skin folk and kin folk, but anyway, let's get into it. So, according to Vibe, they said the following. They said Nicki Minaj has been on a tirade this week, accusing Jay-Z and Roc Nation of launching smear campaigns against her. She now has some backup in the form of Nessa Diab, who claims the same thing happened to her partner and former NFL quarterback, Colin Kaepernick, saying at Nicki Minaj, wait, hold on, because I think I got the whole tweet, and it was a lot. So, she said, at Nicki Minaj exposing the smear campaign tactics that Jay-Z, Roc Nation, Desiree Perez did to her behind the scenes. I also heard they're trying to put a gag order on Desiree's daughter. Remember the one that allegedly Desiree, her daughter, put in the same asylum, and she came out and did an interview? And I heard they trying to put a gag order on her. So, anyway, let me get back to the whole post. So they said it's very similar to what I was told they did at Kaepernick 7, when Jay purposely co-opted Colin's protest by siding with the NFL to help their image after they blackballed Colin for his protest. Hence why you see he's still doing the halftime for the Super Bowl. So I can believe it. She said, I called them all out years ago, and so many people were scared to say it publicly, but would tell me how they agree with me privately. SMH. Well, that's usually how it goes in Hollywood. Everybody give a damn. All they care about is their job. So they don't care about, helping their fellow person. So they'll agree with me in private, but in public, I'm crazy. So then she also went on to say, so to continue, Rock Nation apparently took $5 million a year over 5 years to bury the growing protests and specifically help them move beyond the controversy around teams' unwillingness to sign Kaepernick. Desiree even said, we love that everybody wants to be on the stage, that we've completely changed the conversation to fighting for it versus boycotting. We've come a long way. She got her pardon by Trump. No coincidence, the NFL owners are his buddies and also donated millions to his campaign. I still don't watch the league or whoever is performing at whatever game they still playing. Hashtag still with Cap, hashtag forever. So then it says like something or another with ESPN, because it's like a long thing on her Twitter, because she posted a whole damn thing. Shout out to her. But hold on, let me pull that up for y'all. Yeah, so it says it right there. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it says, according to sources, Kraft told Jay-Z the NFL isn't picking up on these social issues. We need your help. Kraft connected Jay-Z to Rock Nation and Rock Nation to Goodell. Soon, sources told ESPN the league partnered with Rock Nation in a $25 million 5-year deal to reshape the Super Bowl halftime show, produce music tied to the season, amplify the league's social justice agenda, and perhaps most importantly, move beyond the controversy around teams' unwillingness to sign Kaepernick. At an August 2019 news conference at NFL headquarters announcing Rock Nation's partnership with the league, Jay-Z told reporters with Goodell sitting nearby, I think we've moved past kneeling. This nigga. Oh, that's exactly what that is right there. Like, really? We move past kneeling? Really? Meanwhile, your wife is on tour right now acting like she a damn social justice warrior for black folks. But we move past kneeling because it fucks with your bottom line as a businessman? Oh, we see how you rolling out in these streets, sir. Top league executives and at least a few owners believe the alliance, excuse me, has worked beyond the more than $250 million the league has raised to commit toward social justice causes. Executives believe that Rock Nation has raised the bar, excuse me, with Super Bowl halftime shows the past few years. The affiliation with Jay-Z has helped the NFL improve its image on race with fans. Really? Because I don't see it. According to an executive outside the NFL with knowledge of the league's internal data. The partnership also gave Perez, the Rock Nation CEO, an open door to the league office. Perez had overcome a criminal past to build a reputation. A reputation. This is so small. It's hard to read this. To build a reputation as one of the entertainment's most powerful executives. In 1994, she had been arrested for damn, y'all can hold the arrest record up in here. They said she'd been arrested for a conspiracy to distribute booger sugar, later working as a DEA informant and serving 9 months in prison for a probation violation. She was among the dozens of convicted felons Trump pardoned a day before he left office. Well, that tea I did not know. And she posted this. People were not happy with the show in Atlanta, Perez said. Afterward, the New York Times reported New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft approached Jay-Z about Rock Nation getting involved. The message, Perez said, was, we need experts to come in and curate and produce the halftime show, and it shouldn't be the NFL. The goal was to get the halftime show to be something the artists are excited to perform at. How do we make this about the music in the moment and not about everything else that's going on around it? So, basically, what y'all saying is y'all want these ninjas to be out here tap dancing to distract y'all from the overall racism that we get from the NFL and what y'all support at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, they don't care about whether you black or anything else. The only color they give a fuck about is green. So that's what it seemed like here to me. So y'all out here thinking that Jay-Z really care about y'all. He don't. He care about his bottom line and his coin. I want to see if there was anything else because I didn't want to have to really like go through this article again and see if like I'm repeating the stuff that I basically read to y'all. Okay, so they said the mother of one closed her tweet. Hold on, let me switch this out. Okay, so they said the mother of one closed her tweet by stating that she still does not watch the NFL or any of the performances that happen within the league, as she is still with Cap. For the last 2 weeks, Minaj has been going hard on Hov and Rock Nation. She has left no stone unturned, calling out the Brooklyn rapper's paternity rumors, claiming he owes her $200 million from her equity in Tidal, and making light of the Megan Thee Stallion harassment lawsuit. And yeah, she went and posted all of that on, like, we showed you that before with the whole 50 Cent thing. I could probably pull that up to y'all to see. Hold on. Okay, so it was this, but they basically pulled that up, and that was on her IG, where she said, "Oh, is this why he was trending the other day? IDK. I hope all is well. To God be the glory." And then there was this other one, because child, I am going in with the receipts today. uh, that she posted from DJ Academics. I just had to make sure that it went through. Okay, so what it said, what was the name of the law again? Karma's Lord, touch not my anointed Lord, all the other stuff, because of the whole thing about where Academics posted the judges denied Rock Nation and Megan Thee Stallion motion to dismiss a lawsuit where her homosexual cameraman claims the twerker forced him to watch her have a freak off concert. Really, that's how the way you had to phrase all of this up in here, Academics? Alvin and the Chipmunks. So we already know he got a hate boner for her. He don't particularly care for Megan because he's all about Tory Lanez. So we already know where Academics leans on this whole situation. Meanwhile, he got his own stuff going on in regards to the, alleged assault with an ex. What's going on with that story. So yeah, so Nessa's out here going hard for her man Cap, which she should. And yeah, well, her bringing all this up is like, nobody's saying that we ain't believe Nicki. This is the problem that I think a lot of people have when it comes to Nicki Minaj, is that she's always out here just fighting with everybody, that it just comes across as sort of like a hit dog hollering. And it's like, girl, who aren't you beefing with today? So while I'm sure that maybe, he does owe you money and things of that nature. And hopefully you get it. There was some YouTube video that I saw that was sent to me. I don't remember who sent it to me. I don't know if it was Robert or friends of the show. It was somebody. But there was a YouTube video that I was watching where they were saying that because of these allegations and things that she's coming out with against him, that the rumor is stating that Jay-Z is plotting to have, allegedly, her unalived. That apparently that she's being followed, or they tried to set her up when she was in Amsterdam with the whole drug situation and all that good stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if there's any truth to it. First of all, crazier things have happened to people in this industry. I don't put none past nobody in the reach and the power and the things that they have where they can go in and let have on certain situations. So yeah. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Because it is developing. I'm glad that we got other people coming out here and saying things, and hopefully now, because Nessa has brought this up in the past, that they'll bring this up again in the future. So people, just keep your eye on this whole situation, and we should be out here side-eyeing Jay-Z, because I'm putting nothing past that damn man. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Hold on, y'all. I was getting distracted because there was something that I forgot to add to the show. There was this just hilarious interview that she did with what the hell's his name? Carlos King, that we have to sit and watch as a class, because I got some things to say on it. So we'll get to that in a second. I gotta go over to TikTok and look for it. Hold on. Because I was like, wasn't there a topic I was supposed to do? that I totally forgot about. Because yeah, I did. And I was like, hold on, because I gotta pull all that up. And then we're gonna make that as a segment. I was like, yeah, mute. I mean, pause, please. But I gotta see, where should I put that? Mm, you know what? We'll do that story after the Denise Richards story. So I had to put that in. I'm going to have to add it later. Okay, so I got it. Hold on. She not transphobic, y'all. That's what she said. Yanny. Mm-mm. I hate doing this. And not having all my stuff ready. But we got to do this in real time, y'all. All right, I got it. Got it. Mm-hmm. Okay. But anyway, let me see what y'all saying up in here. Julie addresses trauma and says to Ray, either you defeat the trauma or you let the trauma take you over. Yeah, well, I will see this tomorrow. Stop telling me stuff about the movie, please. And so I do believe Rock Nation wants Nicki unalive, knowing that Jay unalived the Lemonade Becky. Mm-mm. Oh yeah, I forgot that woman name. It said that Bacon acknowledges she knows the deed is done for her forgiveness. I don't even think she cares at this point. I have zero respect for Jay-Z after he said we passed kneeling with the head of the NFL non-yes, with Jay-Z selling out and accommodating the NFL's racial insensitivity. So it's possible. That's what I said. I don't feel like Nessa has any reason to lie on Colin Kaepernick. I mean, how does it serve her? Especially, where she's feeling like, I don't have nothing to lose in this fight. I mean, first of all, ain't nothing going to happen to her. And this kind of makes me wonder, do y'all think that Beyonce would ever leave Jay-Z? Because I really feel like with Jay-Z's strong arming in the business, that he helped her get farther than she would have gotten if it was just Matthew in the picture. So with them being like this big dynasty or whatever, um, I do believe that she would never leave him. I had no idea SZA wrote "Feeling Myself," a huge chunk. Like people said, she can't throw shade at Cardi B as a writer when an R&B singer wrote a huge chunk of your biggest hit. She gets help writing her stuff. She don't sit up in there and write all that stuff by herself. I mean, Nicki is lethal with her pen, but they all get help. I was like, let me close all this out because I thought I had everything closed, but apparently I didn't. But yeah, so that stuff that Ness was going around saying about Jay-Z, I believe every last word of it. I'll put nothing past it. The minute you go and sell out your own damn people for a coin, it was like, I believe it. You basically threw Colin Kaepernick under the bus because you ain't wanted to affect your business. All right, so now let's move on. And let's talk about Jane's Addiction because the band is suing each other apparently at this point. So members of Jane's Addiction, have sued the alt-rock band's lead singer Perry Farrell after an onstage altercation last fall that they claim derailed their North American tour and forthcoming album. Dave Navarro, Eric Avery, and Stephen Perkins are seeking $10 million from the singer, who I believe is 66, if I'm not mistaken. He old. So yeah, he's 66. Now, according to TMZ and Rolling Stone, Navarro, Avery, and Perkins are suing Farrell for assault, battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligence, breach of fiduciary duty, and breach of contract. They also claim that they lost over $10 million in potential earnings due to canceled shows and the inability to make a new album, which would have been the first from the classic Jane's Addiction lineup since 1990. According to Rolling Stone, the former Jane's Addiction members allege in a lawsuit that Farrell, is it Farrell or Farrell? I think it's Perry Farrell, but we'll go with that. So it's like Farrell was often intoxicated on tour and during shows. The problem with Perry's performance would often worsen as the night wore on and he became more intoxicated, the lawsuit reportedly reads. The musicians and their attorney, Christopher Frost, reportedly alleged in the complaint that Perry's repeated and unprovoked attack on Navarro was especially painful because Perry knew that Navarro was still weak and suffering from the effects of long COVID-19. The attack apparently continued backstage too, with Farrell throwing another unexpected punch at Navarro, striking him on the left side of the face. Now, after the incident, Frost told Rolling Stone Farrell abruptly and unilaterally ended all the plans for a Jane's Addiction revival and left his bandmates holding the bag for an unfulfilled tour and record deal. So it's like, yeah, when you are in the throes of y'all have a contract, you're supposed to go on tour and fulfill this entire tour so that way these people who are investing in your tour get their money back and they're on the investment. As well as if you're going to be in a new deal where you're coming out with new music, you have to honor those contracts. So because y'all can't get along and people out here acting stupid, it's like, oh no, I'm not going to sit up here and fit the bill for this. So we're suing you. Well, now comes word that Perry had decided to sue the band back. So he filed a lawsuit of his own against Jane's Addiction members over the 2024 Onstage altercation that derailed their tour. The infamous September 2024 Onstage altercation between Jane's Addiction frontman Perry Farrell and other members of the band is far from over. Now, Farrell filed a legal complaint, not a countersuit. It's funny how I put he countersued, but he didn't. It was a complaint. So now we got that out of the way. Against former bandmates Dave Navarro, Eric Avery, Stephen Perkins, just hours after the trio sued him. In a 30-page complaint, Farrell accuses the former members of orchestrating a years-long campaign of bullying and harassment aimed at undermining him. He also alleges that he had no say in canceling their tour and breaking up the band. In it, he says the altercation was spurred by his frustration over the other bandmates playing their instruments at a high volume so he could not hear himself sing without blasting his own in-ear monitors at an unsafe level, and that Navarro assaulted Farrell and his wife backstage. Navarro, Avery, and Perkins issued their lawsuit on Wednesday morning against Farrell, citing the onstage altercation between Navarro and Farrell that resulted in the cancellation of their reunion tour and apparently the final dissolution of the long-running all-rock band. The band members are seeking at least $10 million from Farrell, claiming in a lawsuit that the group lost that amount due to their tour's cancellation and the suspension of all band activities. Now, in a statement shared with Variety, Farrell said of his former bandmate's lawsuit, as a founding member and creative force behind Jane's Addiction, Perry Farrell has always prioritized the band's legacy and its supporters, which is why the events of September 13, 2024 in Boston and the resulting fallout was so devastating. Without warning or consultation and using Perry as a scapegoat, Dave Navarro and the other band members took it upon themselves to abruptly cancel the remaining tour dates, violating contracts and disregarding all professional obligations. Perry was blindsided by not being allowed to vote and be heard, leaving him unable to plead his case to continue the tour for their fans. If that was not harmful enough, Dave Navarro then intentionally and publicly blamed Perry for the canceled tour dates, effectively destroying Perry's reputation and causing him irreparable harm. Despite this continued bullying perpetuated by Navarro, Perry's dedication to Jane's Addiction and the preservation of the positive impact of the music industry remains unshaken. He is actively exploring ways to address the situation and ensure accountability. Now, in a response, the three band members' attorney, Christopher Frost, said in part, persuaded by Perry Farrell to revive the legendary configuration of the band, Dave Navarro, Eric Avery, and Stephen Perkins had high hopes that they would capture the pure spirit of the band's early days and build on it. Initially, they did in the studio and on stage, but as our lawsuit explains, they did so with a fourth bandmate who was, by turns, unwilling or unable to perform to a reasonable standard, and who repeatedly threatened to derail the tour. Ultimately, with the attack on Dave Navarro seen around the world, Perry Farrell abruptly and unilaterally ended all of the plans for the Jane's Addiction revival. He also left his bandmates holding the bag for an unfulfilled tour and record deal, as our lawsuit explains in detail. Dave, Eric, and Stephen never wanted it to come to this. So they said the key segment in Farrell's complaint states that Jane's Addiction bandmates have sometimes been antagonistic towards each other, has been well documented. But Navarro, Avery, and Perkins apparently decided that Jane's addiction, decades of success, should be jettisoned in pursuit of a years-long bullying campaign against Farrell involving harassing him on stage during performances, including, among other tactics, trying to undermine him by playing their instruments at a high volume, blah, blah, blah. We already read all of this. So, then they said this harassment escalated on September 13, 2024, to physical violence by Navarro and Avery against Farrell on stage during the Boston show and the assault of both Perry and Eddie Lau, Farrell backstage by Navarro. These altercations reciprocated with the decision by Navarro, Avery, and Perkins to both call off the rest of the band's North American tour. Without warning or consultation, and using Perry Farrell as a scapegoat, Navarro and the other band members took it upon themselves to abruptly cancel the remaining tour dates. And so it seems to be going on and on and on. There's a lot in this damn article. And then they also, remember back when they had the whole situation, Farrell did apologize to his bandmates for his inexcusable behavior and saying his breaking point resulted in inexcusable behavior. And I take full responsibility for how I chose to handle the situation. His wife also issued an Instagram statement that was generally defensive of her husband, but added in a comment that Farrell was spinning out and said that his current state represented the most devastating mental health of all that she had seen since being with him since 1997. So I don't know, it was 3 against 1. And they had 15 tour dates that were canceled. And somebody's going to have to get their money somewhere. Y'all both may have to pony up, or it might be one or the other. So who knows? But I hope they work it out. I just think just let the courts handle all of this. I don't think they'll be able to. I don't think they're going to get back together and make, because this is I don't even think this is even redeemable. Y'all are just career-wise, y'all just done, I guess. So yeah, I'll definitely keep you guys abreast of this story as it develops. It's unfortunate. This is why if I was an artist, I would just be solo. It's I don't want to be dealing with the dramatics of a band, because then you got to deal with so many different personalities, people attitudes, all that stuff. Ain't nobody got time for that. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Iffy. They said Bondi is unsealing the Epstein files, so it's official. He needs MAGA and was scared of the backlash. Well, he's getting backlash. He went and basically threw shade at his own base, calling y'all idiots if y'all was even trying to address the whole Epstein situation. He tried issuing health records to distract, because I'm like, okay, you got to talk about your swollen damn cankles. Child, don't nobody care about the most swollen ankles. Because you out here allegedly with diabetes. So you try to throw that, but it's nah, y'all running out of excuses, distractions, all of that stuff. Oh my God, Trump's health. That's more important than no, where they at? Because you said that you had nothing to hide. Now you're too, he blames it on Obama wrote it, and then Biden. You just be pulling names out your ass to give excuses for the bull crap that you've been doing. So I'm like, boy, shut up. Just release the damn MC file. We know you all over it. We know you a alleged PDF file. With all the stories we heard. Allegedly. Anyway, let's move on, because I'm over that, man. Oh my God, we're only 6 months into this 4 years of this foolishness. Time's going by so slow. But anyway, let's move on to our next topic, and let's talk about Gwyneth Paltrow. So yesterday we talked a little bit about Gwyneth Paltrow and this whole drama that's surrounding this upcoming biography. I don't think she had anything to do with it, but it's a lot of tea that's been coming out about it. We talked a little bit about her relationship with Madonna, where the rumor was going around that the reason why Madonna and Gwyneth are no longer friends is because Madonna appeared on some island that Chris Martin, who was her husband at the time, were on this island together, and they were vacationing, and Madonna showed up and she scolded Lourdes, and it turned Gwyneth and Chris off to the point that they wanted nothing to do with her. And I just thought, look at that story, I'm like, that has got to be the dumbest reason. There had to been something clearly deeper that caused their rift and them to kind of just drift apart. And I don't think that would be it, because the many shallow things that Gwyneth Paltrow pulls out of her behind to try to hawk money out of, That could not be the reason. Now, sidebar, speaking of Chris Martin, I know y'all heard about that little incident that went down at the Coldplay concert where there was this exec that was on camera hugging up on some chick that was not his wife. And I think she worked with him at the in the same business. I forget what exactly the profession was, nor do I care. But the fact of the matter was the man was out here allegedly got caught on the kiss cam hugging up on some girl. The minute they popped up on the camera, he tried to disappear real quick, and then she turned her head in shame. Y'all better start hitting that bell and start chanting shame at her little infidel over behind. And if he is married, which I truly believe he is, your wife about to, in the words of Ivana Trump, don't get mad, get everything. She did say that to that ex-husband of hers. Or, yeah, he was an ex-husband. Hold on. Because I was like, I need to make that smaller because y'all can't even see the picture. But anyway, so with that being said, Variety did a story and let us know what's in the book. So, Amy Odell's forthcoming biography, Gwyneth, promises an unfiltered look at Gwyneth Paltrow's carefully calibrated rise from Hollywood legacy to wellness mogul, pulling back the curtain on the relationships, rivalries, and reinventions that have shaped one of the industry's most fascinating figures. Set for release on July 29th via Gallery Books, the biography is based on more than 220 interviews with industry insiders. Paltrow himself did not participate, so it's basically an unauthorized biography. Among the book's most headlining-grabbing moments is a fresh examination of Paltrow's relationship with Brad Pitt, whom she met on the set of Seven and was briefly engaged to in the mid-90s. What's in the box? Odell reveals that while Paltrow once considered Pitt the love of her life, she struggled with his Midwestern upbringing and admits she developed a crush on Hugh Grant while filming Emma. The engagement ultimately ended because, according to Paltrow, she wasn't ready for marriage. I believe it, and I wonder if this Midwestern upbringing thing got a lot to do with the reason why Angelina Jolie and him is not together, and them spoiled little brats she calling kids got a problem with him. Because whatever the Midwestern upbringing is, it's probably because he's down home and he's very strict. We all know who Angelina parents was, especially her vile bastard of a father. We don't like John Boyd over here, but I like some of the movies he's in. But when you hear him talk politics and all this other stuff, he's like James Woods, another damn moron. So I can see why the classation happened, because if you grew up in the Midwest, a lot of people, the way it's not the very Hollywood uppity bougie type of way, because she's a nepo baby. Like Blythe Danner is our mother, and Bruce Paltrow, I think, is her father. He was like an actor or director or something. I know they both were Hollywood royalty, but I can't remember exactly what. I think her father was like a director or something. I could be wrong, or maybe an actor, but I know her mother, Blythe Danner, was an actress. But anyway, so they said her subsequent relationship with Ben Affleck also gets renewed scrutiny in the biography. The two actors dated off and on from 1997 to 2000, and though Paltrow once called him technically excellent in bed, not technically excellent. Is that like unconscious coupling or whatever? Did she come up with that foolishness? I'm unconsciously coupling, or that's stupid. Girl, I can't with y'all. But anyway, so they said now, and though Paltrow once called him technically excellent in bed, the romance was reportedly plagued by Affleck's drinking, gambling, and emotional detachment. One anecdote recalls her frustration when Affleck preferred playing video games over spending time with her. Now, didn't I say that damn Sabrina Carpenter song, Man Child? You know what? Jennifer Lopez should have got that song instead of Sabrina, because literally she was married to a man child. And it seemed like this is the ongoing theme, because it got me thinking back, like, yeah, whenever you look at Ben Affleck, we've been saying that, like, he had mood swings. You could always tell that he was always annoyed. He did have a drinking problem, which I believe he's got under control. He still gambles, I believe. And he always looks like that he's not emotionally present when he's in relationships. I mean, he cheated on Jennifer Garner with the nanny. So I don't put nothing past that man. Yes, Ben Affleck is a great actor, excellent filmmaker. He's very much artistically creative, very intelligent. He speaks multiple languages, English and Spanish. I don't know if he speaks anything else, but everything, all the other stuff, he definitely gives me like, he always looked like he was just over it. He gives me the type that it's like, you know what, I just want to fuck. Like, I don't want to be in a relationship. because I feel like he's not capable of being in a long-standing relationship. I just think he just like, just be a hoe. Just be a, look, you need to get off. Trust me, there's plenty of coochie you can get. But anyway, so they said the book also details Paltrow's high-profile falling out with Madonna, which we talked about yesterday. So we don't need to go into that again because I already gave y'all the cliff note. They also said that Odell didn't just chart Paltrow's romantic and social history. She also offers a critical look at how the Oscar winner rebranded herself into the face of Goop, the polarizing lifestyle empire that has turned everything from jade eggs to detox cleanses into headline fodder and lucrative business. From coining the now infamous phrase, conscious, oh yeah, she did come with that stupidness, conscious uncoupling, to launching a skincare line that sparked FDA warnings, Paltrow's legacy has expanded far beyond the screen. You know what? Maybe she can go over there and work with RFK Jr. since, you know, I'm hearing that her skincare line is sparking FDA warnings. Now, if you put that skin cream on your face and your skin started to melt off, don't say we didn't warn you. There's always been something I've always found remotely irritating and polarizing about Gwyneth Paltrow. But I will say this. Yeah, I've never particularly cared for her, especially like when he was talking about like, as an actress, I was like, yeah, because I ain't have to really hear what her opinion was. Like her being on the screen is just her being on the screen. But when she rebranded herself as like this mogul, you know, this lifestyle guru, whatever the case was, that's when she started turning me off because I'm just like, who is this really for? Like, I don't know anybody that'd be willing to do that unless you just, you know, these are like a bored housewife or something where your husband's got a lot of money and you got time to just buy her crap all over Amazon and try it out on TikTok. Like, I don't know. But I just never knew anybody that would just be, I've never found her authentic or relatable in any way, regardless of what it was, like, especially when it comes to this lifestyle brand. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding the Gwyneth Paltrow revelations? Is this a book that you're willing to check out, or was the tea that I basically just gave y'all just enough salaciousness where it's like, nah, I'm good. I don't need to read that book, but what I gave y'all good grist for the mill. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Like you said, Chris Martin is extremely petty for calling it out. What if he didn't know? You know, they were talking about it was like a kiss cam, or whatever the case is, and it's a thing. I'm like, if that's the case, do y'all not be out here Googling, schmoogling? Where y'all would know, like, other shows or whatever. Does he do this every night on his tour? Like, how people not aware? Because it's funny, like, all the kids, when it comes down to the concerts and stuff, everybody knows what to expect. Like, Lady Gaga kicked off her Mayhem tour yesterday in Vegas, and I started watching some of the clips online. Yeah, she basically is giving the same show that she gave in Coachella or Gagachella and Singapore and all the other stuff. I think the first half. But everything I did hear that she did change it up with the songs and some of the other, you know, the set list. She's Weinstein's royalty due to his scamming the Oscars. Didn't she go? Didn't she get into it with him or accuse him of abuse or something? Yeah. So Bruce Paltrow, I said he had to be a director or whatever. So he was a director, and her mother's an actress. All right. So now let's move on. And let's talk about Miss Jennifer Lopez, who seems to be done with marriage. So, you know, she's currently on tour. You know, the people was out here getting mad at me because I've been talking too much about Jennifer Lopez and her delusions of grandeur when it comes to her touring and trying to basically rip off Beyonce in regards of how she moves on stage. She did a James Brown tribute, which you already know people was tight over that. Her even being in the conversation about her doing that Motown tribute. But then everybody wants to talk about, oh yeah, she's a great dancer and she's not a good singer, but is she a good singer? Like the same people that be bringing up she's a good singer, then Cardi B needs to be brought up in the same conversation. Is she a good rapper? Apples and oranges. It's not the same damn thing. So, but if y'all need if you need a way to go on to validate y'all Mr. Fantastic ass reach, then by all means, y'all go ahead and do your little Reed Richards reach, because anybody got time for it. And I ain't got time to be sitting here arguing on social media whenever I do Jennifer Lopez discourse, especially with the things that she's done over the years. And people said that she does do some things where she tries to copy off Beyonce and all this other stuff. Like I was literally watching the video and it was putting it all together from the overall looks to when Beyonce did Drunk in Love when she had the short hair and all the other stuff. And then Jennifer did the same thing on the AMAs where she had a little couch situation. She's doing like this little sexy dance and had the short hair and everything. And then now, but I was going to say then she does the diva fan thing. But now these days, everybody has a freaking diva fan when they're on the stage now. So that's like everybody does it. So that's not even special anymore. Because it get hot up there. So people need them fans. But anyway, not to go on that whole rant, let's get into this. So while performing on stage for her Up All Night tour in Europe, the hitmaker appeared to be responding to a fan song that read, J-Lo, marry me. She said, I think I'm done with that, per a fan video. I've tried that a few times. Now, while Jennifer, who's 55, didn't share specifics, I think her birthday's coming up, actually. She was famously first married to actor Ohani Noah, who's 51, from 1997 to 1998. The on-the-floor Saunders then went on to tie the knot with Chris Judd, who's 55, in 2001 before they split in 2003. Her longest marriage was her 10-year union to fellow single Mark Anthony, who's 56, from 2004 to 2014, with whom she shares 17-year-old twins. And I don't particularly care for Mark Anthony anymore because he is a Andrew Cuomo fan. So if you're going to get behind somebody who's an alleged abuser and killer of old people during COVID-19, I can't get behind you. I don't care how much you can salsa your ass up on out of here. Like, I can't get behind that, the Puerto Rican Gollum. So now, similar to Lopez, the Vivir Mi Vida crooner has been married 4 times, with his current wife being 26-year-old Nadia Ferrero. Now, Anthony, however, admitted to Page Six earlier this year that he was the wrong person to ask about the key to a successful marriage. Well, look, at least him and Jennifer got something in common. Their marriage lasted the longest, 10 years, and they've both been married 4 times. So, except she's been divorced 4 times. He still at least is with the same woman. Now, Lopez, meanwhile, went on to wed her 4th husband, Ben Affleck, in 2022, after breaking off her first engagement with the Argo star in 2004. The Selena star pulled the plug on her marriage to Affleck in August 2024 after they had been quietly separated since that spring. Probably because the same thing that's allegedly in that book that we just talked about, the Gwyneth Paltrow unauthorized biography, that she was probably married to a man-child. The man wanted to play video games and gamble and all the other stuff. That was more important to him than actually wanting to be in a marriage where you have to engage with the person that you are married to or you're in a relationship with. So if Ben didn't grow since he was with Gwyneth Paltrow and he was bringing a lot of those bad habits with Jennifer Lopez, because look, them two ain't been together for like 20 years. So you expect some people to grow to some capacity, over the years. And then there's some leopards that unfortunately never change their spots. Now, they said that they finalized their divorce in January, though they've struggled to sell their $68 million marital home in LA, which they've since taken off the market. I'm like, damn, first of all, $68 million for a house, that's a lot. Like, I don't even know if I would have that kind of money to fork over. Well, I don't know how that works in regards of like, do y'all pay that whole thing in cash? Are y'all still like, or did y'all like take out a loan? Like, who has $68 million to put down on a mansion? First of all, I don't think I would ever want something that big. Let alone, I don't think I would put down that kind of money. But that's just me. So anyway, so they said that last week, Jennifer Lopez kicked off the European leg of her tour and declared that she was better than ever following her bombshell split from the actor. The Grammy nominee had been performing her new track, Wreckage of You, which she shared, came to her when she was up all night one night. Well, isn't this tour called Up All Night? Now, aside from her 4 marriages, Jennifer was previously engaged to baseball star A-Rod, who I've heard from so many people that have encountered him that he's a dick. I've never had the pleasure of meeting him. I've seen him at the Garden, but everybody that I've worked with, see, this is the funny thing. I always find out the tea from my coworkers. They'll tell me when somebody's an a-hole, and everybody that I've spoken to has said that he's not the nicest person. So maybe she dodged the bullet by leaving him. So then they said aside from then what is they said their relationship lasted from 2017 to 2021. She also dated the Diddler, as we all know, from 1999 to 2001. Casper Smart off and on from 2012 to 2016, and did a drive-by with Drake in 2016. Because we're not gonna sit up here and try to act like that was a damn relationship. She was getting them pipes clean, and we seen Drake dick, so we know what he gives. So, good for you, Jennifer. If you actually for real in regards to all of this, when you're talking about that, I think I'm done with that. Because I'm like, yeah, who wants to sit and go through the trouble? Like, you don't have to marry everybody you're in a relationship with. And I feel like when you at a certain age, like even with Whoopi Goldberg, and that's why I love the fact that Whoopi was just wise with her situation. It's like, you know what, I've done that a few times, been there, done that, wore the t-shirt, done a few times. I realized that marriage is not for me. And maybe you need to come to the conclusion, realizing why are you so hard up to be thinking like this whole fairy tale, happily ever after type situation. Like, not everybody is built to walk down the aisle and get married. There was one thing I saw, and some people was like not believing it. I was truly with him on that. Oh yeah, now they talking about that CBS canceled Late Show with Stephen Colbert after paying off Trump. Yeah, y'all wanted that deal, and probably in the deal, he probably said that y'all got to get rid of, you got to get rid of all these other shows that be going after me. That's why I said CBS, y'all are trash. But anyway, so then what was it? I think it was on Gay Magazine, because I got sidetracked. And Laura Roach, I believe, posted. That's if I can find it here. Oh yeah, I found it. So Laura Roach basically said that the reason he has no aspiration to find love. He said, I want a meal, I want a nice meal, fuck, and go to sleep. Now that's my type of relationship. Because he's saying, like, you know what? And I think, so what it was is because I was wondering where all this happened. I mean, what was going on with this? So it was like he said that with Keke Palmer, open up about why he has no aspiration for a romantic love or to have kids. And I was like, where is that? Because, wait, hold on. Let's bring that up because that could be part of this conversation. Because I truly feel like, you know what? I'm with you on this because my thing is when it comes down to relationships and this sort of thing, why do people always feel like that, yeah, everybody's equipped to get married and be in a relationship and have children and all other stuff? Not all of us is equipped for that. And me personally, I love my freedom too damn much to want to be tied down to somebody. It's like, especially, I guess, living in a metropolis like New York. So if I want to get some ass, trust and believe, it is not hard for me to do that. But after we done, you can, your Uber's outside. Now, I won't sound cold like that, but I'm just saying, your Uber's outside, niece. But hold on, let me see if I can bring that video up so we can watch that as a class, because we can make this part of the topic. Hold on. Please hold.
Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. I can't stand that. I hate it. I hate it. If I look down and your phone is on Do Not Disturb, I don't even want to talk to you no more.
Ooh,
it's like
they're done like that.
In a way, because it's like I just can't understand the person that wants to put their phone on Do Not Disturb at 9 p.m. and don't take it off to 9 a.m., especially if you're in LA. I'm like, it's already noon in New York.
I do think that the work ethic could pick up a bit more.
Yes.
Yeah. I do think, that. You know what I mean? I do think that. But look, you're talking to a workaholic at this point. You know what I mean?
But you can also say that you want to be me, or you want to have the career I have or the lifestyle I have, and then put your phone on Do Not Disturb. I don't even know how to do that. I never learned. And I don't care to call me. I'm answering. People be calling me like, you up? Yes.
I'm up. My gosh. You sound like Sharon.
Don't put your phone on Do Not Disturb.
Well, guess what? You're going to hate me, sir, because my phone stays on Do Not Disturb. My phone don't never come off from Do Not Disturb. Every now and again, I'll turn it off. But for the most part, my phone stays on Do Not Disturb. Everybody knows that. So you literally, because I have an iPhone, you got to call me twice in order to get through, punctuate through the Do Not Disturb. Because you know how many messages I get on my phone all day from group chat messages, a bunch of people sending me things. My watch goes off like crazy. And I don't want to keep having my damn wrist vibrating. If that's the fact, I might as well get off on it and shove it up my ass if I want to keep getting the vibrations. Like, I don't want to be sitting there having to deal with, and especially if I'm busy and I'm working, I don't have time for my phone. I don't got that time for that. Like, So you gonna hate me, as I said, because my phone stay on Do Not Disturb. But what else they said up in here? Because this is the first time I watched it.
I don't even think my mom sleeps.
What you want to talk about?
Hello?
And I definitely answer all the numbers I don't know.
Oh my God.
Like, I don't know that number. Oh, I'm answering that.
That's when your exes call?
No, that might be some money. We answering that.
I love it for you. Love life is no. I don't think I've ever heard you talk about going on a date, anything. So your love life, you don't have no ideas for marriage. I have no
aspirations for that. I don't. Like, I don't have any aspirations for like a romantic love. Like, I want a nice meal. I want to have a nice meal. I want to go to sleep, and then I want you to leave. I want you to leave. I want you to go back to wherever you came from.
Whoopi Goldberg has my favorite quote. She's like, "No, I don't want anybody in my house."
Same.
And I'm like, I do relate to that. Is that just like when you're like in love with what you do? Is that
I just never ever had the. I'll tell you a story. Similar. So my friend is crazy. One of my friends was crazy about love. He like, I just can't wait to find my love or the love of my life so I could wake up with him and go to sleep.
I don't even think my mom sleeps.
What she talk about?
Hello?
Go to sleep with her and he called me and we eat together and all that. And he was like, and I'm praying for you to find somebody else. I say, save your prayers for yourself. Don't pray that prayer for me. Don't pray that prayer for me. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Now what about kids? That neither.
No, I would have loved to have been a parent, but I just don't think now it makes sense for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
But that I don't want it.
You got plenty of daughters.
Yeah. Go to sleep with her and he called me and we eat together and all that. And he was like, and I'm praying for you to find somebody else. I say, save.
He said, I don't want it. Well, yeah, I'm with you when you're right, but yeah, but I just feel like when it comes down to relationships, there's some people that they go over there and it's like in society and in life, you're told, oh, I need that person that's that knight in shining armor who's gonna come off the horse and whisk me up my feet and take me in. We're gonna live happily ever after. Child, save that shit for Disney. Ain't nobody got time for that. But then you realize you're in the real world, and that's all fairy tales. And it's great if you want to aspire to that, but you can't really invite anybody in your life for you until you figure out how to love yourself and be there for yourself completely. So I'm with you on that, but it's like, yeah, when it comes down to it, like I'm just in the same boat as Whoopi. It's just like, yeah, after a while, I don't want these people. I don't want you up in my house. Like, I like my independence. I like my privacy, and I like my alone time. And it's like when the mood calls for it, if I want my friends or a hookup or somebody to come over or a friend with benefit, we have that. But it's like I don't want to have to change my habits and things that I do to accommodate you. And if it came down to it ever that I was in a serious relationship with someone, then I'm here for the separate bedrooms and all that other stuff. Like, I like my room, my space, my bed. I like to spread out. I like hogging the blanket. I like doing all of that. I don't want to have to share. If that makes me sound selfish, oh well. But you have your room and I have mine. But when we need to get it in, we can come in the same bed. But you go in yours, we'll be done. Because I don't want you having to like come up and judge my habits or whatever. Oh, you was snoring or you was this. It's like, okay, well then your room is down the hall. Take your ass up in there then. So I don't know. It's just like, while I've come from a family of like, I'm not a child of divorce. My parents are still together 40 plus years. So but I just like, the way I look at relationships is not in the traditional sense of the way I was raised. And it's funny how my brain was wired like that. Like, nobody had to try to teach me or convince me to come to that conclusion. I just came to that conclusion from life experience. So one of the people in the comments said this. They said, because he loves himself. The ideology of love today is that you need another person to complete what you don't give to yourself. Is codependency. And I truly believe in that it's not about, I don't want to have to be codependent on somebody, because it's like when you break up, then it's like you by yourself. So hopefully Jennifer Lopez has worked on herself to the point where she realizes that she don't need to be in a relationship. She don't need a man to complete her and continue to follow these heteronormative ideals of what she believes a relationship is, because she kept following that situation and the marriages ain't been lasting. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story regarding what Law had to say and what Jennifer Lopez had to say? Because they both kind of go hand in hand in the conversation. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. You said, oh yeah, I read that one. I think she's overrated as Michael Carpenter called the new summer film shit. What new summer? Oh, I know what you did last summer. We all know our beloved hipster Long Islander is hard to please music and movies. But Hannaford is hard to put up with too. That's why it was. Maybe she met her match when she got with him. I think they both difficult to work with. That's probably why she was willing to her relationship lasted long with A-Rod, because they both assholes, allegedly. It seems that for Lopez jumped so quickly from A-Rod. Yeah, because she was in a relationship with him, and then he started love bombing her on social media. Oh yeah, I would give it a go if we was ever in a relationship, and saying all this other stuff, and started talking about her in the media. I was noticing that, and then all of a sudden they break up. But allegedly, the word on the curb was he was cheating on Miss Hannaford. That would be A-Rod. So, like you said, she didn't give herself enough time to see if what issues made it fail with Ben the first time was so present. Yeah, because I was thinking that too. It's like, yeah, before you get, like, if you're going to get back in a relationship with the previous person, if you're going to revisit an old flame or rekindle an old flame, I guess is the phrase. I do agree with that last sentence. I do feel like when you're in a relationship, oh no, before we even walk down the aisle or whatever the case is, we taking this ish to therapy. We getting ourselves a therapist, and we're gonna sit up in here and get to the root of why our relationship did not work the first time. And it may have stemmed from like the overall media circus, the paparazzi, all of the stuff. She likes all of that. He does not. He likes being an artist. He doesn't like being someone who is thrust into the spotlight and getting all this attention. He doesn't like all of that. He just wants to go make his movies and go home, which I can totally understand that, because not everybody is built for the glitz and the glamour side. I think in Jennifer Lopez's head, she thinks she's Elizabeth Taylor. So, but I also believes, but you know what? And I feel like the short brother Camel's back is when she decided to put all this stuff in that documentary, that musical and the documentary. I do agree that she is a love addict, because them damn endorphins, when that stuff go off, that's unlike anything that's like better than drugs when you're dealing with those type of that feeling. You have to compromise a lot. Amid that compromise can be part of your personality. Mm-hmm. And that compromise, yeah, that could be like, I'm not somebody who's willing to compromise my Christianity for another person. That could be it. That's like, nah, I'm very much like, I didn't compromise a lot, especially when it comes to like business and like collaborating and being creative and all other stuff. But relationships do take a lot of work and a lot of compromise, a lot of sacrifice and all that stuff. So hold on. I was like, Onyx is here. It's a late show after Stephen Colbert just got his show canceled. Okay, I'm truly sorry. 2 stories each day. I feel special being a friend of the show. Mm-hmm. You said 2 stories each. Wait, what story we do? Did I miss something? What's going on? And you said it would also have to be open for Chris as well, because if he get don't be telling my business. And you said, I'm with Ben. I want to be an anonymous millionaire. Yeah, it's just like, I want I saw a TikTok today about a Christian homosexual who said he feels constant guilt being in his religion and well, that's the thing that they perpetuate. And I talk about this enough on the show. As somebody who grew up Roman Catholic, they teach you all about that whole, when you're a homosexual and a Christian, and it's that whole guilt thing where they make you feel like you're dirty or you're less than, or you're this and that's like. This is why a lot of people leave the being in their faith and all the other stuff because of that. You see so many people struggling. Like most recently, who was a perfect example? David Archuleta. He's somebody who was a former Mormon that seemed to be struggling. There was somebody else I was about to say. You think he probably struggling too. But I'm gonna leave him alone. That was a long pause, wasn't it? Y'all know who he is. She like doing backflips off of things. Anyway, let's move on, y'all. Let's talk about Denise Richards, who, thank God she got her current relationship, because she out here saying that. Now, I didn't think it was this big of a deal. That's why I didn't talk about it, because I had heard about it a while ago that Denise Richards and her husband, Aaron, or her estranged husband, Aaron, were breaking up. He filed for divorce, but she's claiming that he put pause on her. And most recently revealed the photo, specifically the People magazine, which is why I got this story from, of her with a black eye. Now, I'm gonna warn y'all, now I don't know, on this show, we don't do trigger warnings on all this other stuff, but when you see this picture, y'all about to gag. So, there she is with the black eye. So now, in court documents obtained by People, Richards, who's 54, requested a temporary domestic violence, DV, because you got to watch what you say on YouTube. DV restraining order against Pfeiffer's, who's 49, sharing alleged details and photos, accusing her ex of physical assault. Now, she said, quote, Aaron would frequently violently choke me, violently squeeze my head, with both hands. What does he think he is, Jason Voorhees? That's a move he be doing in his movies. In the movies. Squeeze my head with both hands, tightly squeeze my arms, violently slap me in my face and head, aggressively slam my head into the bathroom towel rack, threaten to unalive me, hold me down with his knee on my back to the point where I would have to plead with him to get off me so that he would not unalive me, and that's not the word she's using the K word, and hack into my laptop and phone and download all of my text messages. This is what she alleged in court documents. Aaron regularly threatened to break my jaw and would cry, begging me to stay and promise to get help, none of which ever happened. So she married herself a white diddy, minus the freak-offs. Now, she also alleged that her ex has caused me at least 3 concussions. Now, Richards also said that she has been afraid to report his alleged behavior to the police because he had repeatedly threatened to unalive himself and me if I reported him to the police, among his other threats to harm to me and himself if he was reported for his abuse to anyone. She cited July 4th to the 14th as the day of the most recent alleged assault, claiming that she asked Pfeiffer's and his family to move out of townhouses she had leased. In the documents, Richards alleged that on July 4th, Pfeiffer's got within 2 inches of my face and screamed degrading profanities, including calling her the C word, the W word, which would be rhymes with more, and piece of ish. Richards also, not the cunt word, share. Now, it said Richards also alleged that the next day her ex made the same comments in the presence of his father, Stephen Pfeiffer's. I wonder if that's where he learned that behavior. Because if you feel uncomfortable enough to be cursing your wife out and being abusive to her verbally in front of your own damn father, I wouldn't be surprised if that was a behavior you learned from your own damn parents. Now, Richards also claimed that Stephen also began yelling at me and threatened to tell the internet that she was a rhymes with more. But here's the thing. If she's such a whore, then why was you up in there filming for her OnlyFans? Like, wasn't he, didn't she say, like, he was over there, like, he would do the camera work and stuff when she was doing whatever it was that she was doing on OnlyFans? Because I don't know what a lot of you Hollywood people be doing over there. Y'all do probably, like, Wild Things, PG-13, type stuff where y'all want to show feet and all this other stuff. I don't think y'all show them puss on, OnlyFans. Because I don't think she was. If she is, let me know in the comments. But I don't know. She gives me like, I'm just posing sexually suggestively in lingerie. And these men be at home beating themselves off like Little Kim in Double XL. You know that line from How Many Licks? But anyway, so they said the Bravo star alleged that later that same day, Pfeiffer's grabbed both of my arms forcefully and pushed me and dragged me to the ground. I landed hard on the stairs, causing me immense pain. She also claimed that when she threatened to call the police on July 5th, Pfeiffer said, I would like to see the cops take me away. I will blow everything up if they try. She alleged in the documents that throughout our marriage, Aaron threatened to unalive me and put me and himself and the police. Well, I don't know how you're going to do that. The police got guns. They're going to pow your ass before you even get a pow off. So she also claimed that Pfeiffer's owns at least 8 unregistered guns and multiple bulletproof vests. What if he voted for Trump? This is what this is giving. And here's the thing. Before I get into the rest of this story, I actually believe her. And I'm going to tell you why. Because sometimes when I watched them on the Housewives of Beverly Hills, there was always something about him I did not like. It just, I have a real good instinct when it comes to people. And I was just like, oh, he's good looking. But there's something about this man that just reeked sinister. Like, I was about it. Like, he was giving me Patrick Bateman. Like, that's what I was getting. American Psycho. Like, that's the kind of like the vibe I was getting. I may have mentioned that in the past when I've talked about the Housewives of Beverly Hills that I ain't particularly care for him. But now that you're saying all of this, I'm glad that my instincts proved correct. Richards also claimed that Pfeiffer's threat that I would disappear if I called the police, and said he repeatedly abused her throughout their marriage. The former couple tied the knot in 2018. Now, she also accused her ex of going through her phone and laptop while she slept and putting her messages on his laptop, saying, quote, Aaron woke me up and screamed at me, you effing B. I went into your computer and saw your text messages. First of all, why would you even admit that, you dummy? Calling her a lying B, she alleged in court documents. Richards also alleged that Pfeiffer smashed her with the palm of his hand on her head while she was using the toilet, while screaming at me repeatedly, give me your effing phone. She also claimed that Pfeiffer refused to let her go on a trip without him, saying he grabbed me in the back by the back of my head, by my hair, and slammed me into the ground and screamed, you are not canceling my flight. I'm going with you and I do not trust you. Richards also requested that Pfeiffer return her laptop as well as all pictures, recordings, and cell phones, noting that she wanted him to be prohibited from using, delivering, copying, printing, and disclosing any text messages, emails, photos, notes, or any content from my cell phone or laptop or any other electronic device. Richards also requested that Pfeiffer pay her legal expenses as well as other expenses caused by the alleged abuse. She also requested that Pfeiffer attend a 52-week batterer intervention program. First of all, does he have money? Because I just heard his businesses went out of business. So where he getting this coin from? Now, Pfeiffer filed for divorce on Monday, July 7th. He listed the date of separation as July 4th and cited irreconcilable differences, as they always do, as the reason for their split. Richards was granted a temporary restraining order from the Superior Court of California on Wednesday, July 16th. That would be yesterday. She did not request a restraining order for her children. But at this point, she doesn't really need it, or they don't really need it, because her kids with Charlie Sheen, Sammy and Lola, they're in their 20s, so they're good. But she does have an adopted child named Eloise, who's 14. So he has no authority over Eloise. He's not legally her guardian. The only one who is legally adopted the child would be Denise. So they don't have any kids. I don't even think he has kids. So if all of this is true, we're supposed to believe the women if they're abused. I'm glad that finally, they've getting out of the situation. The crazy part about this is he filed first. So it kind of makes you wonder, is it's like, okay, so if he's the one that filed first, saying irreconcilable differences, but now she's coming out and saying that he abused her, even though we're looking and seeing like a whole black eye. So that has to be believed, right? Like that has to be real and not doctored. I know everybody, but it could be AI with all this, that, and the other. I'm sure they can authenticate it and see if what it is what it is. But there has to be some type of, I don't know. I just feel like in my heart of hearts, there's some truth to a lot of what's going on. And if he was going around abusing her, she did say she was afraid for her life and stuff. But look, I guess now at this point, he did you a favor by actually leaving the relationship, because many people, when they're in these type of relationships, don't even get out alive. The statistic is always, it takes a person. There are men who are in abusive relationships as well. So that's why I'm saying a person, leaving it vague. It takes a person a whopping 7 times before they walk away from abusive relationship completely. Hence why I still don't understand to this day why people still making excuses in regards of like, well, Cassie was an equal participant and all that. That girl was abused. So when you've been emotionally broken before you're physically broken, because that's how they do you. They get you with the emotional shit first, and then starts the abuse. Because they've gotten in your mind. and you don't even know what hit you. So then you thinking that's love. Because like she said, that when he was putting hands on her, he would be like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I will cry, and I'll get help and all those other things, and she will believe it. Because you truly believe that that person you're in love with is gonna do what they gotta do to leave you be with the physical stuff, and they're trying to rehabilitate and they're going to try to get better, but not realizing that they're just trying to finagle their way out of a situation only to do it again to you later on. So I'll definitely keep abreast of this story as it develops. I was not expecting Denise Richards to come out and say all of this. I don't know, for some reason in my gut of guts, I was like, yeah, we heard about the divorce, but I knew there was going to be more coming out soon. I just didn't know it was going to be something about he was beating her up and stuff. So that shocked me. But then again, I shouldn't be shocked by half of the crap that happens in Hollywood any damn way. So I say all this to you guys. What do you think of this story regarding Denise Richards saying that her estranged husband, Aaron, threatened to take her life and he was being physically abusive to her throughout their marriage? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. So, you talking about that? No, I was talking about actually I was talking about another white person who's a singer who is also, I think, was a Mormon, grew up in Utah, had the number 2 album in the Billboard 200. Likes to cosplay Freddie Mercury. Is that enough of a hit? Tyler Henry, not Henry Cap. Although, I'll leave that rumor alone. Incoming dad joke, Coldplay hasn't made a single in 2 years. Last night they made 2 singles. That is funny. Did they come out with a single recently? Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of that other horrible band, Maroon 5. I thought you meant Tyler Perry was struggling. But no. Well, Tyler is struggling to write a good damn script and to come out to allegedly. But then when you said backflips, I realized who you actually meant in that case. I'd help his Okay, well, he is a cutie though. You said, how beaten this girl? Perhaps him filing first is a move. Yeah, that could be it too. Like he is manipulative, I guess. Is that, yeah, by him filing first, that, there's always people that have find a way to get ahead of the situation. So it's like, that's another form of abuse. Now you trying to get money out of me when you the one that was beating on me and all this other stuff and treating me like crap and threatening to kill me. All right, y'all. How many more topics we got for the end of the show? All right, so we down to our final 4 topics. So before we get to those, if you can please do me a solid, hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And also be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. At the end of the live stream, I'll be putting in timestamps so that way those of you who come in after the playback, you can watch the full show without having to sit through all the banter. Just click on the thing and just go right to the topics that tickle your fancy. If you don't want to sit through the usual banters, all right? So without further ado, let's get into this mess. So Jess He Not Hilarious is what I like to call her. Recently did an interview with Carlos King. I know Fag Talk After Dark came on last night. Shout out to T.S. Madison and Craig. I didn't get to watch it because I was like a lot going on. However, I'm not sure if they even got around to this, if this video even came out, because I know it came out this morning. And I'm like, damn, the timing is off. So I don't know if it came out last night and they may have addressed it, or if the video officially dropped today. But she did an interview with Carlos King, and Carlos King asked her this whole situation. Oh wait, it said July, so it did come out yesterday. So I don't know. They probably did talk about. I'm gonna have to get around and see if that long, because her and Craig, they love doing like these 5-hour damn episodes. But then they disappear for weeks, so it makes sense why they be doing them long ones. But anyway, so he did an episode. She appeared on his Reality with the King podcast. I'm thinking they filmed this around that time that he made an appearance over at the Breakfast Club because he was at the studio. So I'm thinking that's when they shot it. It just aired yesterday. So she discussed the fallout from her controversial statement made on the Breakfast Club, where she was basically talking about gender identity. And I think it was the thing where she basically said, well, it goes further back. Like there was a whole video she went on social media, and I don't even remember if this was she on the Breakfast Club at the time? I don't think she was. But she was talking about how only, in so many words, I could be paraphrasing, but she basically said only women can have children. Which those of us with actual brain cells and critical thinking skills, we know that's not necessarily true. Not all women can have children. There are women who have infertility problems. Hence why either they don't have kids at all because they have infertility problems, or they take IVF. They decide to go in that direction, which is hella expensive, but there are people that are able to do it. Also, what people seem to forget, trans men who are women, who are people who are biologically born women who have transitioned into men who do go off the testosterone to have a baby if they're in a same-sex relationship. I don't know, sexuality, gender identity, all that is complex. It's not black and white. Also, when people, because I was reading the comments and stuff, and the call was thinking, everybody, well, I don't understand why she getting toe up and opportunity bin when she right now. It's like, okay, so I ain't got time to say. And then gay people, this is the funny part, the homosexuals that are anti-trans, like the jumping the gun, well, I'm a gay man and I agree with what you said. Like I wasn't expecting, number one, us to be a monolith and to think that all skin folk are kinfolk. Just like all skin folk and kinfolk with black folk, I do not expect all the LGBTQs to come together and agree in lockstep. But if you actually have some cells in that brain of yours that you can screw together and actually critically think about stuff, you would know that it's not just women that can have children. Nobody's saying that, yeah, like a trans woman can have a child. I mean, she got a dick. She can shoot her sperm or whatever from her balls that she still has into a woman and get her pregnant. So when you're saying that all women can have kids, not necessarily true. It's like, yeah, you were born with all the parts, but not everybody has the ability to carry a child. Because of, like I said, infertility and that sort of thing. So yeah, she was saying all of this stuff. And then I know her and T.S. Madison have gotten into it. And other trans women, Hope Giselle has gone in and had done whole think pieces about Jess Hilarious and some of the stuff that she said. Shout out to her. And then there was a recent video that she did, because I remember this a couple of weeks ago. We talked about it on the show. A political commentator by the name of Lene Vinay, who I believe, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was that they had a conversation about, where I think they were talking about, she was talking about like relationships and that sort of thing. And then for some godforsaken reason, Jess in that deep voice decided to pull out her ass. Only women can have babies. I just want to let you know that. So I'm like, where did that even come from? So you always trying to find a way to throw a dig at the trans community, which I don't understand why you have this hate boner for trans women. And also why, I mean, in the past, she's actually said things, negative things about gay folks and made little side comments when she's on, either wherever she's at, either she's on the internet or when she's been on the Breakfast Club. She's fed into that. And you think, because you one of those special type of F words, rhymes with maggot, that, and I'm talking about Carlos, that, because you're doing business with this one, you're not going to try to throw shade in him like you would any other homosexual. Okay. So, yeah. So after people called her out on her transphobia and stuff, she did discuss the incident, which she said that basically, where her coming out with all the transphobic stuff that she said, that it has caused her, I should say, some deals. So let's go over to the TikTok, courtesy of Carlos's TikTok, and let's watch the clip as a class. Please hold.
Which I want to get into the trans conversation. There was a recent interview that you did on this platform with a black woman, and she said, as long as you have a uterus, you can have children. And you said, okay, women can have children. And that went viral. In my research, it was very split.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that particular conversation?
She was speaking on gender identity. I was speaking on biology. That I said only women can have babies. I've been punished for that as well too. I lost a TV show for that, for saying that, because of that statement that I said, women can have babies. Only women can have babies. That was the reason that did not want to have me on Miss Pat Settles It.
Is there anything you want to say to the trans community who do feel like you're dismissive by the tone in which you say things, the facial expressions in which you say things? What do you have to say to them?
Listen, this, you know what, Carlos, this is crazy, right? Because it doesn't matter what I say, they will not believe that I am not transphobic. I've tried, I've done this, I've said many times over, I do not hate trans women. I don't hate trans men. I don't. I said what my issues were. I don't think that we should be called cisgendered women. I think the question should be, ask them what they feel like, what they need from Jess Hilarious to feel like they're not heard or not seen. I see all of y'all. I see not y'all. I'm talking about, talking to the trans community. I see y'all. Yes, I do. And that's the last thing I want to say is like, yo, I got trans friends, because then that's also looked at, oh, that's
Here we go.
The one that's just like a white person saying, oh, I got black friends. No, I really do have trans friends. Yes, I do. And it's like, yo, I can't. It's like if you hate us, if you hate one of us, you hate us all. It's like, no. It's some straight people out here that I don't particularly care for, but that's not toward our whole community. It's some gay people I don't like, men and women. That is not toward the whole community. Everything warrants a conversation. I'm open to having a conversation with anybody. Like that's what we're missing. The whole thing is we're missing communication.
All right. Well, if she's saying that, I would like to see her put her money where her mouth is. And I would like for them, the Breakfast Club, I'm going to challenge you on something. I would love to see, after she said this, get T.S. Madison back on your show. Get a trans woman. Maybe, I was going to say, maybe get Laverne Cox on the show. But Laverne Cox, I feel like, she's a little too, she's way more demure and mindful and diplomatic. I feel like she do got a problem with T.S. Madison. I would love for them to sit on that damn show together, because the ratings will go through the roof. Number one, bury their hatchet, work through their stuff, and really try to understand what is her issue with the trans community. Because you sit them and say, nah, don't get me wrong, I'm here. I totally agree with her on this one part, which is, yeah, we're all not a monolith. There are some people within my community that I don't like either. And when I go in and let have, I cuss them all out. Like, I don't care, like, your sexuality, all this other stuff. If you come at me, I'm reading you down to the floor. So I do agree with that. We're all not a monolith. And if somebody says something crazy to you, I'm cussing you out. And I'm pulling out all the bells and whistles until you walk away wishing that you wasn't even a thought between your parents' legs and that sort of thing. So I understand that. But when you come out and make little side comments when it ain't got nothing to do with situations, like, I understand if you want to sit and have like this thing that this is what you believe, then y'all need to start also having the conversation of bringing people on where y'all can have like this nuanced discourse and talk about it. But to me, it just seems like Jess does not have the vernacular or the type of thought process or the critical thinking skills to even try to understand this conversation. Because when you try to talk this thing out to her, it's like it doesn't compute. And when it's not something that she's willing to, because here's the thing, when it comes to things that when you've been raised to believe certain things a certain way, especially like if you grew up religious or whatever the case was, when you've been taught to believe certain things about the other, gay people, trans people, whatever the case is, and when you have to unlearn a lot of the things that you've been taught to believe over the years, it's a lot for people to comprehend. It's a lot for people to break down those constructs. So a lot of times you'll see people try to fight against it instead of trying to embrace it. Like, it took me a long time to even, it didn't really, well, actually, to be honest, it didn't really take that long. When it came down to a lot of things I grew up understanding regarding politics. Then when I started getting deep dives into understanding how both sides work with the Democratic Party and the Republicans and all that stuff, and how I be talking about politics on this show. That was a lot of unlearning a lot of things that I was raised to believe, or not even necessarily raised to believe, but what has been presented in front of us by the media, because my parents weren't really big on talking about politics and stuff. It was a lot of what you will learn from legacy media. And when you realize that it's like, this is a business, the corporations and a lot of things that they put in place for us to just be brainwashed or whatever. And then you start to learn the truth of things that's outside of the things that you learn. It's like trying to break all that stuff down. So I would genuinely want to believe that Jess is wanting to learn and be, I guess, get a little bit better at being more open-minded in regards of trans people, because trans people are now the new boogeyman. That's, especially with this current administration, everybody coming at the trans community in so many ways. So with all of that, it's like, yeah, I totally understand. It's like, why, this is big crackdown on, let's pick on the trans people because they're the new boogeyman, they're the other, let's go after them. And it's like, they're not your enemy. At the end of the day, a lot of these people, trans people or whoever is the other, immigrants, they just want to be out here trying to survive. They just trying to, put their, we're human beings. So everybody just wants to put on their shoe 1 foot at a time, put one pant leg on at a time, and trying to make it through the day. And so all this infighting that we doing, we need to stop that and really come together and realize that we got a lot more in common together than separate. And if her all of a sudden trying to come to this revelation of redemption because she's losing out on deals, it's like, yeah, if you're going to come out here and you're going to spew bigotry and hate, then you should be. Then it's like, yeah, I don't want to work with that person. And if Miss Pat said, oh yeah, I don't want her to be a part of my show because I'd work with a lot of LGBTQ people, especially being in Atlanta, and I got a problem with that, I don't want you a part of my show. And if you believe in the things you believe in, you believe it. Nobody's putting a gun to your head and trying to tell you to change your ways. But you got to realize, if you're going to be working in the world of entertainment, you're going to be dealing with people that are different than you. And if you're going to be out here spewing homophobia and transphobia and all that other stuff, you got problems with the other, then just stick with your little job over there at the Breakfast Club. But, and lest we forget, didn't we just have a whole thing where everybody just wanted Lauren LaRosa to basically be over there and do that job? Like, nobody really wanted Jess Hilarious at the Breakfast Club because they felt like that she didn't know what that, like, just be funny. And even she ain't that good at that, quiet as it's get, but just be funny. Although I did see this recent thing where Aiden Ross was on the show and they was interviewing him, and people was in the comments calling her all type of racial slurs. That kind of pissed me off because it's like, these are, then he was trying to like justify it, or I said, this is what happens when you let the little white boys into the urban circles. You let them be a part of the culture, and when they get to be a part of the culture, then you start to really see these racists for what they are. But nevertheless, I hope that she's trying to learn and grow, but I just feel like I'm not buying it. And what's wrong with trying to, if you say something willfully ignorant, learning from it? It's the same thing when y'all was going in on Nene, but Nene, I don't feel like was being as bigoted and woefully ignorant as Jess is. Nene is a woman of a certain age. Nene's in her 50s, pushing 60. So she thinks like how a lot of Black women think, especially when we were having that conversation about trans women and dating men and how people think in their mindset that, oh, if a man's dating a trans woman, then he must be gay or whatever the case is. So breaking down those contracts, I do feel like there needs to be a conversation that's had. So if she's willing to be open for that, then I would be open for seeing that happen soon, sometime. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you believe that Jess Hilarious, where she said she's willing, she's open, to learn and have that open dialogue in regards of, trans people? And if you got trans friends, if I was Carlos King, I would have asked, okay, so you say you got trans friends, because she did that. Some of my best friends are trans foolishness. If you got trans friends, when all of this was going on, you were saying only women can have babies and that sort of thing. What was the conversation that you had with that trans friend? That's what I want to know. And did they actually co-sign with you? Or did they kind of educate you on gender constructs, sexuality, that sort of thing. Because that's what I would want to know. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay. Let me close that. Oh, damn it. Hold on, because I just closed my JoJo Siwa story. Hold on. I did not want to do that. I don't know, because this computer was like, well, good thing it was the first topic that was up there. All right. Let's see what the comments are saying. People think Jon Stewart South Park might be canceled as well because 16 million really brought the firings of Steve, John, and South Park. Well, South Park can go somewhere else. We'll see. And Jon Stewart, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Because I was like, yeah, you could buy the silence of Paramount Plus or whatever, but these people can go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. A sit down with her and some trans folks, I'd watch. Yeah, I definitely think that would be a good conversation. I love how both Laverne and TS agree that Caitlyn chose her whiteness over her. Absolutely. But I said that at the end of the I said that. Like, when it comes to Caitlyn at the end of the day thinks like a white man. Like, and I don't give a fuck if people think that it's transphobic because it's not. Like, to me, it's like you use your privilege as a white man, because I still think that even though you are female presenting on the outside, you still think you got that white male privilege, because that goes above everything else. So you use your whiteness, that comes before you being a minority, because that's the one thing about why people of color, queer people of color, will always have like this sort of clashing. I was going to say clashness, but I don't even think that's a word. If it is, I just made it up. So why people always clash with white queers, because white people at the end of the day, they could be white. You could be a white male and still move through this world, whether you're in the closet or out the closet. But when you're a queer person of color, it's like you're a double minority. So we don't get to afford the privileges that a lot of white folks do. So yeah, Caitlyn can move through spaces and still be white at the end of the day. So she white first before she trans. Just like I've noticed where there's a lot of queer people who are white before they're queer. I used to buy weed from a trans woman. We're still friends. Why that sound like a rap song? I used to buy weed from a trans woman. Well, maybe the way I said it. So does she want to be the black J.K. Rowling? Probably. Except she ain't got J.K. money. Tell the mermaids in the building. How you doing? All right. Okay, so now let's move on. Let's talk about Miss JoJo Siwa. Child, we just cannot get over this girl and stop talking about her. But apparently, she just announced that she's bringing her Infinity Heart tour to the UK and Europe this week, and tickets are going on sale tomorrow via Ticketmaster. So I don't know if y'all care, but we're going to talk about it. Hold on, let me pull up her actual Instagram so y'all can see it in the background. I'm going to mute it because I do not want to get demonetized, whatever the case is. But yeah, there she is looking like a poor man's kiss. But anyway, they said the Karma singer, who's 22, announced the news via her social media channels earlier today, which will be on July 17th. The UK and European leg of the tour is set to kick off in Dublin on September, with stops in Glasgow, Manchester, and London. She will then head to Europe in October, visiting Paris, Cologne, and Warsaw. Sharing a trailer with a poster on Instagram, she wrote, "My Infinity Heart tour is coming to Europe. The love and kindness you all have shown me means the world to me, and I can't wait to start my Infinity Heart tour with you." She then said, it's all of your favorite JoJo songs that you know and love, plus new music that I can't wait for you all to hear. Let's make tons of unforgettable memories singing and dancing together. See you soon. She's got songs, and I didn't know she sang. Also, it's funny how she's going overseas because nobody cares about her in the United States. But okay, good for you, daughter. But she said that well, maybe you know what? Yeah, maybe it is that people only care about her overseas, because yeah, she's doing Dublin, Ireland, Glasgow, UK, Manchester, UK, Newcastle, upon Tyne, UK, London, UK, Brighton, UK, Birmingham, UK, Cardiff, UK. There's a lot of parts of the UK. Paris, France, Cologne, was it Denmark? And Warsaw. So yeah, apparently the Europeans like her more so than they do in America. So what is it? Is it going to be new music where she's going to be showing us why she is, the queen of gay pop? Because remember that she did say that. But anyway, so let's move on. And it said the announcement has drawn a mixed response. One person said, can't wait. That was the excited fan. While another put, woohoo, alongside multiple ecstatic emojis. Another fan said the announcement had made my day, while another typed, I'm so excited, and they just can't hide it. However, there have been some negative responses too, because we love how, we like to get both sides of the situation. Now, the announcement comes not long ago after the Dance Mom star announced she was canceling the U.S. leg of her tour in June, because wasn't she doing a bunch of pride events or whatever, because, she wanted y'all to hear her gay pop, because she the queen of gay pop, she invented it. Remember her saying that? Just like Columbus discovered America. Now, they said, I promise did. That's what she talked about. She'll be back to let them know when she'll perform for people in the U.S. But I don't even think people care. But apparently they do. So they said that one person questioned, so you cancel the U.S. just to announce U.S. Wait. So you canceled the U.S. just to announce U.S. and Europe only? First of all, she's not doing the U.S. So y'all made a mistake in this situation. She's only doing overseas. This sentiment was echoed by another user who put, is she just doing this to be closer to Chris? That isn't really fair to her U.S. fans, LOL. And while many fans in Europe pleaded for the Karma singer to add more European stops, such as in Belgium and the Netherlands, one person wrote, do not come to my town. I do wonder, is she going to be singing Betty Davis Eyes? Inquiring minds want to know. Well, if that's the case, if you're going to do Betty Davis Eyes as a cover, sis, we do not want to hear it. No shade, but we don't. Wait, hold on. I was like, why is that not working? Thank you. I was trying to pull that up. Okay, so now, what else did they say? So now they said earlier this year, she appeared on, we don't care about when she was on Celebrity Big Brother. We don't need to recap that. And the whole homophobic abuse from Mickey Rourke, where he was like, oh, you just need a good piping, so that way you'll actually go straight. She was like, nah, I'm going to always be a lesbian. Then all of a sudden, he left the house. Mickey Rourke got kicked out the house. Then they're looking like, oh, now it's about to be boring up in this bitch. So what do? Oh, let's fake a straight, let's fake a relationship, which is what I truly believe it is. So now, after you already know, after the show broke up, after the show was done, JoJo broke up with her girlfriend. Then her and Chris was hanging out. Chris recently was talking about how much he loves JoJo Siwa and how he want to marry her. Then it was brought to my attention because I totally forgot that he actually dated one of the girls from Little Mix. Which one was it? It was the one that was doing a black cosplay. What's her name? Not Jade. Because we like Jade. I was like waiting for the comments. But anyway, so yeah. So he was dating one of the girls from Little Mix. And then I believe she came out and said that he was moving a little too fast. She just wanted to get it in. Like she was just looking for like Jessie Nelson. Thank you. So Jessie, he was dating her. And she was like, he was moving too fast. He wanted to get married, all this other stuff. And I'm like, this is what I'm smelling through this thing too. Like, it looked like you trying to move real quick in this relationship. Like, why, like, you get with somebody and then 5 minutes later, you trying to marry him? Like, are you low-key a lesbian? Because y'all know the old joke. What did a lesbian bring for the second date? A U-Haul? Like, that's the old new school lesbian joke. So Chris is giving me lesbian like, maybe he low-key a lesbian with a dick. But you moving too fast in this relationship. So look, child, do not put Betty Davis eyes on this damn tour because, man, we do not want to hear it. And then she was going around doing this stupid kiss-inspired makeup and talking about she was the queen of gay pop and all this other stuff. And Kim Carnes, who actually is the originator of the Betty Davis Eyes song, Yeah, she was out here like, in so many words, it's a chop. She wasn't liking it. And so, yeah, JoJo out here ready to go on tour and give y'all some of them songs. And y'all want to see that dance? Y'all want to see the dance? She gonna do the dance for y'all. So those of you over in Europe, enjoy it while you can. But look, she quiet as it's kept. She doing y'all a favor by keeping her ass overseas rather than trying to torture y'all with whatever that shit is she's doing, because the damn show ain't music. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding JoJo? See what talking about she going on tour, and the internet is split over the situation. So while you got her, she got her little fans who gonna be happy while singing her little Kids Bop hits and Betty Davis eyes cover, and whatever new music she got coming out and trying to channel Miley Cyrus, since Miley Cyrus so much she don't want to tour. So she'll sit up here and cosplay Miley Cyrus for y'all badly. She'll give you an American Idol rendition of Miley Cyrus on her upcoming tour. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. So hold on, let me close all of that. And let's see what the people are saying. Not gay pie. Everything I know about her has been against my will. Well, look, if I have to learn it, I'm torturing y'all with the same tea. It's that we don't need a JoJo Siwa tour. I'm not sure how. Well, look, maybe she'll do small little venues and stuff over there, because I can't see her doing an arena or a stadium. There was no need for a subpar cover of Betty Davis. Okay. You said Jessie Nelson, aka Tiffany from Bride. She kind of do look like her though. She definitely does look like Tiffany from Bride of Chucky. Okay, y'all. So now let's move on into our second to the last topic. And that's about the Emmys, because you know, while Trump out here trying to do his little DEI initiatives, you know, the diversity is still happening in the world of entertainment, which I'm pretty excited about. So yeah, the you know, the black folks, homosexuals, that sort of thing. Everybody out here is still doing their, you know, their big business one. So kudos on them. I was trying to see, like, I'm sitting here playing around with the screen anyway. So now, shout out to Pink News for this team. They said if art imitated life, the Emmy Award nominations in 2025 would look very different and very, very boring. The real world on both sides of the pond is currently dominated by attempts to ban trans and gender diverse folk from certain spaces, to strip equality and diversity initiatives from workplaces, and to paint drag queens as predators. Yet TV and film, and therefore art, is dominated by the overwhelming presence of libidical excellence. That would be LGBTQ+. The Emmy nominations for 2025, announced on July 15th, serve proof that queer people are currently currently driving art and culture forward on the biggest stages. Records were broken, history was made. Now, RuPaul, the host of international phenomenon RuPaul's Drag Race, bagged his 10th Outstanding Host for Reality or Reality Competition Program nod, becoming the most nominated TV host in the category ever. In the process, the drag legend retained his title as the most Emmy-nominated person of color in history. It seems that the only people who should be scared of drag queens are Project Runway's Heidi Klum and Dancing with the Stars' Tom Bergeron, who are now trailing behind RuPaul's record. Drag Race also earned its 9th consecutive nomination in the Outstanding Reality Competition Program, a category it had previously won in 5 times, more than any other reality show. Now, Ayo Edebiri, who I did not know was a part of the LGBTQ+ community, they said queer star of the bear. Did y'all out her and I ain't know about it, or she was already out of the closet? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was just genuinely surprised. So they said is also making Emmy history, becoming the first Black woman to be nominated in both a directing and acting category in the same year. Fans of the nail-biting comedy drama The Bear will know that she is rightfully nominated in the lead actress in the comedy series, playing Chef Sydney in the show. She's also up in the outstanding directing for a comedy series category, because I believe that she directed an episode in the previous season. For her role helming Napkins, episode 6 of season 3 of the FX series. Edebiri is the second ever woman to manage the feat. Only girl star and creator Lena Dunham, who I seen her recently. Girl, what happened to you? But then again, Lena Dunham always looked a hot mess, even when she was on Girls. And then she started backpedaling to my, I wish we were more diverse, and which was always my issue with Girls to begin with, because I was like, Girls is basically like the ugly stepsister to Sex in the City. That's what I always kind of got from that show. And I could never get into it because I always thought those women were the most whiniest Brooklynites I've ever come across. I'm like, this is not the Brooklyn I grew up with, but that's probably like hipster Brooklyn, like very much Williamsburg, which thank God I didn't live out there. I lived in Bushwick, which was a little more diverse and it did have a little hipster vibe, but it was mixed. But yeah, so why did we go on this Lena Dunham tangent again? Anyway, let me bring it back. Now, while the Trump administration focuses on erasing Black history from schools and rolling back diversity initiatives, the 2025 Emmy nominations prove that diversity is one of the country's greatest strengths. Trump wants to make America great again, on the cultural front at least. Actors like Etta Berry are already on it. Saturday Night Live star Bowen Yang had this year sketched his name into the history books too, after becoming the first Chinese American to be added to the permanent SNL cast back in 2019. Yesterday, he became the Emmy's most nominated Asian male actor. He bagged 4 acting nominations down in the Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series category for his SNL's roles, plus another nod for Outstanding Writing for a Variety Series back in 2019. Yang, who is a homosexual, is well on his way to becoming one of the most notable queer Asian stars in the century, and there is no more important time for it to happen. Well, also, sidebar, can we please get ourselves a sequel to Fire Island? Like, I like that movie. I would love to see a sequel to that. Now, arguably the most important this year specifically, though, is Bella Ramsey's nomination. The actor has become the first non-binary performer to be nominated more than once for an Emmy, both times in the Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series category, both for HBO apocalypse drama The Last of Us. Again, perhaps Ramsey is only a threat to mutated, marauding infected. For some, the categorization might be controversial. Ramsey isn't an actress, as they aren't a woman, and yet perhaps this year, the debate around gendered award categories feels a little hollow. Perhaps this year, the crunch point is that Ramsey is more visible than ever, at a time where right-wingers would love them to be distinctly less invisible, in fact, while the MAGA bros and shonky politicians insist that trans and non-binary people are wrong or are villains or should be erased. Here is Ramsey doing everything right as a hero and getting celebrated for it. I believe they also spoke out about, like, I get the whole non-binary situation. I mean, like, actor-actress thing, but that's not how I identify. But they got to put you in a category. I guess that's what the way they're going to do it. Now, I know, like, wasn't there one award show that kind of just does gender neutral? They're not really big, like, best actor, best actress. I think it was the MTV Movie and TV Awards. But I understand, like, gender constructs, this is how society identifies you. So it's like, okay, well, if you're going to put me in the category and nominate me, I'll go along with it, but that's not how I identify. So it is what it is. The system has to be the one to change, but we'll have to see if they do. So now, for those of you who are interested, the Emmy Awards this year will take place on September 14th. So I do love the fact that, yeah, we do have a diverse group of people where you have RuPaul's Drag Race, which is like, we love RuPaul's Drag Race. RuPaul's Drag Race definitely, in this time of what's happening in the world, we definitely need shows like this more than ever. But I do feel like we need more studios and things to step it up in regards of giving us the quality shows that we need to press forth with more diversity, more queer representation, and not just RuPaul's Drag Race being the only representation for queer people and drag queens. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this latest news? It's like, yeah, while the president is trying to roll back all these DI initiatives and spread his vagrant, his damn racism, we have to keep fighting, because when we fight, we win, in the words of Kamala Harris. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right. Let's see. Said Jordan's one of those celebrities make you want to hide out. Oh, this is really famous. Dance moms. I blame Abby Lee Miller. She was big on Dance Moms. And then she started doing the music thing. She's like from reality TV. So, she understands the art of doing things to crave attention. And funny enough, the only JoJo I know that I like that got talent is JoJo that sang that song Leave, Get Out, which I actually saw her in person when I worked the boxing match for Netflix. She sang the national anthem. I wasn't even looking. I was busy doing something. All of a sudden, I hear the old say, "Can you see?" And I'm hearing that. I'm like, "Wait, is that JoJo?" And I look over, and I was like, "Yeah, it is." You know, I know that. I can pick that voice out of a lineup. Do you think she's vilifying the gays because we rejected her as a pop star and inviting her to our community? We didn't reject her because she was a pop star. We rejected her because it just came across as disingenuous. And you out here being an attention whore. So people weren't buying what she was selling. But if you feel like that's the way you got to go about it, then okay, keep doing you. Watch how many fans you lose. Speaking of gay pop, did you watch the MV for Conan's second sequel? I did not. I heard it was heartbreaking. It was sad. I've been meaning to get around to it, but I've been so bombarded with like so many things going on that every time I try to get around to it, I get sidetracked with something else. But I know the video is out. I have it in my history on YouTube because that's like my reminder for me to scroll down and be like, okay, what didn't I'll watch this later. So I'll probably check it out when I'm off of here. I was going to try to rewatch the first I Know What You Did Last Summer before I went to sleep, but I don't think that's going to I got to get up early in the morning. So it said it's good video and it continues to the last, even if it's basically a copy and paste of Troye Sivan's. I did notice that, you know, Conan Gray is definitely following the earlier work of Troye Sivan. So I definitely agree with you on that. All right. Okay, so now let's get to our final topic. Let's talk about my girl, Xunami Muse, who apparently has self-deported herself because she moved back to her home country of Panama. And, you know, after, you know, when she was on RuPaul's Drag Race season 16, she discussed her time as a DACA recipient. So yeah, she's like, I'm just going to leave the country. Like, I don't want to be out here dealing with the foolishness. So Xunami Muse, a crown Miss Congeniality and beloved queen in the RuPaul's Drag Race franchise, shared a statement to announce that she's relocated to Panama, explaining that her situation in the U.S. was a difficult and complicated one. Excuse me. While filming season 16 of Drag Race, Xunami disclosed that she had been legally residing in the U.S. under Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, which basically stands for DACA. Earlier on Wednesday, Xunami shared an Instagram post in Espanol, which reads, "Watch out, world. I have something to tell you. From now on, I will be living in my beautiful land of Panama. You heard that right. I left the States. And the reason is simple, to be able to explore the world. My situation in the United States was a difficult and complicated one, but it introduced many blessings into my life. This August, we're touring Europe, and then in November, we're playing Australia. And so I'm going to take this moment to tell you that if you want to see me in your countries, send me a message via the email teamxunami@gmail.com, and let's make it a reality. There are so many countries I would love to visit to share our love of drag. Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Mexico, Peru, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Nicaragua, Argentina, Spain, England, Ireland, Sweden, Switzerland, France, the Philippines, Japan, China, Thailand, Canada, South Africa, and well, wherever the art of drag is celebrated." Isn't that everywhere where there's a drag race spinoff? I'm joking. We know there's quite a few on here that are not, but you know, at this point, it feels like every damn place you mention has a damn drag race spinoff. Now, she also went on to say, "I hope to eat your meals, dance to your songs, and learn the dirty words of your languages." That's funny. First of all, I'm a hold on. I was gonna say, first of all, Xunami is very funny in person. Like, I've had the pleasure of conversing with her. So, and we'll get into that in a second. So it was like, I just touched down in my beautiful land of Panama, and I will spend it with my family, fighting here for our thing, reconnecting with my roots, and lots of practice for the House of Aja tour. I love you, and thank you so much for all the love and good vibes you always share with me. More details later, but for now, from Panama to the world. So, and then also she shared like a video from Drag Race in her post. Now, Xunami Muse latest Instagram post announcing this relocation to Panama has been filled with emotional and supportive comments from RuPaul's Drag Race alumni, fans, creative partners, and beyond. Below are responses where we have from Geneva Carr, Lisa Fox, Alyssa Hunter, Georges, Morphine Love Beyond, Lucky Stars, Raja, Candy Muse, and Simone. And now, speaking of Candy Muse, that's how I found out, because this morning when I got up, I saw that this post from Candy Muse, and we'll get to that. Hold on, because I know I have it in here. Wait, hold on, I actually have it. She said, "It's a very bittersweet day today. Please respect my privacy, but my best friend and drag daughter has officially moved out of the United States and is relocated to a beautiful home in Panama. While I will miss you so much, I cannot wait till you finally discover the world." So she's like, you know what? I want to actually discover the world, and I still want to tour, and I want to perform. This is what, and if somebody goes to ask me, she's still going on a tour. I didn't pay the older season queen. Bitch. First of all, you would have got cursed out for that comment. And so, but you probably was being funny. But she was like, and she's still going on the tour. I mean, if you actually read her post on Instagram, you would know she is still going on the tour. But anyway, so what the people said was this. So now Geneva Carr, Te amo hermana, that's what she said. Then we had Lisa Fox, put some heart emojis. Alyssa Hunter put Panama Queen with a bunch of hearts. Georgia said, "Love you so much, mama." The Lucky Stars, Felicidades y bendiciones. And then Morphine Love Mua, that would be makeup artist. "Love you so much." Sultan Amrul, that would be Raja. Put in some heart emojis. Candy Muse, heart emojis. The Simone put, "I love you so much. Congrats on it and can't wait to see it." And then we have some more from the Nicki doll, which is like, "Whoa, I wasn't ready, sister." Dahlia Sen said, "Love you, mamas." Luxmore London put, "Love you." Queen of Flips, "I love you so much, sister. Me and Morphine will be visiting." Marco Monroe put some heart emojis. Gigi Good said, "Happy for you, mama." Plain Jane said, "Learning Espanol just to come visit you, sister." Denali Fox put some hearts. June Jambalaya, "Love you, diva." Now, there were some people that was asking, if you leave the United States, can you not return? And she said, "I really don't know." Well, under this administration, a lot of stuff is going on that's uncertain. But this might be a blessing in disguise, because, a lot of people who end up leaving the United States, they've been saying, like, it's such a huge weight lifted off our shoulders. And then you realize living in other countries or other parts of the world is way cheaper than the United States. So we've been conditioned to believe a lot of the lies and things about, oh, America's the greatest country in the world. And I'm like, is it? Because the way that things are going now, going to another country might not be so big. So they put another fan wrote, "I can already imagine Xunami Muse as the patron saint of drag in Panama. Period. This is gonna be fun." And it said, but of course the Panamanian Nicki doll is what Xunami replied with saying. Now, another fan commented on Twitter, "Cheeky," which is a term of endearment, but no, Panama is a mess at this moment. USA is a better option. And Xunami said, "I prefer fighting in my homeland than to fight in a foreign country. I'm not here for other people's business anymore. I'm here for my own." This is what Xunami wrote. Now, emotional discussion about DACA was one of Xunami's standout moments in the workroom in season 16. That was like when she and Geneva Carr, who I believe is also, since we just brought her up already, she's another one who is a dreamer, and started opening up about, what was happening in, her being able to come here and being a legal resident. So I was trying to see if they were basically just talking about the scene and stuff on Drag Race, and what, like, the DACA thing, and thanking Obama for, the whole DACA situation. And then Xunami said, "When I got the call for this, I was like bawling. I was like, I'm finally having a shot to live my dreams." Now, Xunami also discussed the fan reaction to her DACA segment on Drag Race in an exit interview in February 2024, saying, quote, "A lot of people who are of the same experience has been saying things like, 'Thank you, I feel seen.' For me, there was a fear of just even letting people know, right? There are so many people who are malicious." This is what she told Out at the time. "Although we are protected, we're not fully protected. But at the moment, it just felt like, yeah, this is what we go through. It was really nothing other than that." You know what I mean? Sharing our reality in that moment and showing our humanity. We love the drag, we love the aesthetics, and the glam and all of it, but who are these people? Now, Candy Muse, we already talked about what she had to say on the matter. And Twitter user by the name of CT Progressive replied to Candy's post and said, DACA queens are self-deporting now. Broken heart emoji. I hate how this country treats immigrants. She deserved better. Candy reposted that ex-user adding, it's the harsh reality of living in the United States. So yeah. And then Jada Essence Hall jumped on the line and said, love ya. And Mirage, who was her season 16 sister, said, love you, Xunami, can't wait to come visit. And then Green Gay, who is a content creator on the YouTube, I actually like this because they always play that opening thing of when they talk about Stonewall, and then the Britney impersonator says that people died. To which Willem was like, nobody died. I always love when they play that clip in the beginning. So Green Gay went and wrote, thinking about when Xunami spoke on season 16 about being DACA recipient and the blessings that came from the policy. But now we have Trump, who plans on getting rid of it entirely. Can't imagine any immigrant feeling safe in the States at all. So yeah, this is what a lot of people are going to be dealing with right now. And I feel like this is much more important. You know what? Go and fight in your own country and deal with all that instead of dealing with the uncertainty of the United States and this wannabe fascist who's crashing out in real time. And focus on your tour that you have with the House of Aja, which is with Aja, Candy Muse, and Dahlia Sin across Europe and Australia. So with what Aja's dealing with, you know, being trans and the whole trying to change up your passport and your gender identity and stuff on the passport and all this other stuff, hopefully she's able to get that situated, because I know this is dangerous times out here in these streets where you still have your male gender marker on your paperwork. So this story is still developing. Shout out to Xunami. As I alluded earlier, I have had the pleasure of actually, what was it, at the season 17 premiere of Drag Race. Xunami showed up and we had a little moment, got a picture with her. It's on my Instagram and a bunch of my other platforms. But anyway, so we had, took a photo, we kikied a little bit, made a little joke about how I saw her and Candy Muse at Fire Island. She gagged. Because I was like, not trying to out you. I was like, yeah, I saw you at Fire Island. And she started laughing, her infectious laugh. And we had a little moment or whatever. But yeah, it's like, one of the things about Xunami is one of the nicest queens that I've come across. Like, I've met a lot of the girls, whatever. Xunami is one of the real good ones. So it's unfortunate that this is something that she has to deal with and encounter right now. And not only just her, but there's so many others. I remember hearing another story too, that there was a drag queen that was detained by ICE. So ICE went and grabbed up some drag. I don't know if she was released or anything, but I do remember, like, on one of the channels, because I'm always on Instagram and I follow a lot of people who give updates about, like, what's happening with this whole ICE, grabbing people without due process and that sort of thing. So yeah, they grabbed the drag queen. Can't remember her name. Don't know if she was released, but yeah, this is like dangerous times. So I know it's got to be fearful, because y'all thinking that, they talk about they're going to pick up the bad people. They're only going to grab up the troublemakers and the criminals. There's only but so many criminals that are running around. These criminals that are running around this country, that are undocumented. Once that's done, you got to keep fulfilling the quota, which is what's happening right now. Hence why he done took the FEMA money and they used that to create alligator Auschwitz, which is out in Florida, where you got innocent people up in there who are being held without due process because you have a quota that you have to fulfill. And this is all because of that racist Stephen Miller, who's still mad because his hairline done receded. So now he's taking it out on the Latinos. So I'm thinking they must have bullied his ass when he was a kid. And that's why he's doing all this now. So it's like, this is my way to get my sweet revenge. Like, it's giving Lex Luthor. Except Lex Luthor has a better shaped head. Well, Nicholas Hoult, playing Lex Luthor, has a better shaped head than Stephen Miller ugly ass will ever have. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding Xunami Muse? This story is still ongoing. I will definitely keep you abreast of this story as it continues to develop. But in the meantime, I definitely want to hear from you. Also, let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below. Everyone is making fun of Lena Dunham, and I don't know why. I always wanted to watch Girls because of the Brooklyn hipster aesthetic, but the show looks like a bunch of. It was, and that's what turned me off. It was like it just seemed like a bunch of whiny girls. The only good thing that came out of it was Adam Driver. That was the only thing that good that came out of that damn show. Just about Donnie subpoena Chris Evans, The Rock, and a few celebrities to get dirt on Ryan. Chow. Well, look, I did see that there was another blow to the Blake Lively case. I was going to talk about that today, but I was like, I don't care enough about that lady to be talking about her. So Georges was in the 7-minute preview of tonight's episode a lot. It excited me and scared me at the same time. Ginger only had 1 10-second confession. Yeah, I thought about watching it, but I was like, no, I'm gonna just wait. I'm probably gonna have to wait until I'm done with the Matt Rife concert tomorrow. And then come home and watch Drag Race, because that's probably what's gonna happen. I don't even know what time I gotta be at work. Because it's like, yeah, I gotta get up early. I'm gonna go say I Know What You Did Last Summer. Then I'm gonna go to the gym. Because yeah, today I started looking at myself. I was like, I'm starting to realize I'm gaining weight, bitch. I was like, that can't happen. And then when I was out, I was like, I need to lay off that Dunkin' Donuts. I think that's what that's I mean that Dunkin' Donuts. That's what's putting weight on me. But it's like, yeah, I have not been going to the gym as much as I usually do. I've been slacking for the past month, so I got to get back. I remember Xunami and Geneva Carr talking about, she is a sweet person. And that's why I was like, I'll let you know if I'm in an asshole. Here's a clip from the preview featuring Georges got 21K likes on Twitter in 12 hours. I know it is definitely going to be hard for me dodging spoilers. I want to see the full episode, but they don't drop it till like 3:00 in the morning, which is annoying. But on the West Coast, it comes out at midnight. This is the one time I wish I lived on the West Coast. Because the one thing I will say that I loved about living on the West Coast versus the East Coast is like the day is 3 hours behind. So when all the other news was coming out, I can get to it and report it earlier, and it's still earlier in the day, whereas it's like 1 o'clock on this end. So that's the only thing I miss about being on the West Coast. That and the weather. I do miss the weather. And some of the boys over there. And look, the one thing I will say about LA definitely kept me in shape. Because, especially when you living in like where I live, which is like Silver Lake or Hollywood or whatever the case was. Oh, you could not be out here being a big girl. Like you had to maintain your figure. So I had to make sure I was on point. Anyway. All right, y'all. So now we are officially at the end of today's show. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please hit that like button and also be sure to smash that notification bell and the subscribe button if you have not already, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I will not be on this weekend because I'm going to be busy. Well, I got 2 nights of the Matt Rife show, and then Sunday, I think it's Blackpink is performing this weekend. I have to check my schedule. What's today's date? Yeah, I think Blackpink has a show that I'm working. So I'll be back Monday. I'm gonna try to see if I could do 2 shows in one day, like on Monday or whatever. I'm gonna have to try to figure that out. Cause I'm getting down to the point where I'm gonna start getting busy again with stuff. Oh yeah, I did see Lilo and Stitch, the first movie of the year. My ear. To gross $1 billion. I thought it would be something else. I thought it would be damn, what was the other movie that I thought was gonna be the $1 billion grossing movie? I forget. But I thought it would be Minecraft. That's what I thought was gonna be the $1 billion grossing movie. That's what I actually thought. I thought it would be Minecraft, but I don't think Minecraft did that. But it was Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch, look, it's well deserved. It was a good movie, and we're getting a sequel, so I'm looking forward to it. I just hope they bring the cast of the original live action movie. So this is a to reassure their debut album drop. Well, we'll see. I'll check that out. How you doing, Wendy Williams? And happy birthday. Oh yeah, Veronica Electronica comes out next week, which I'm excited about. And funny enough, I haven't even listened to the Gone, Gone, Gone song yet. Everybody's talking about it, but I was like, I'm gonna wait till next week. But yeah, even though I've heard the song years ago, the song is not new. But Yeah, I'm gonna wait till the whole thing drops next week and really get into it. And I'm looking forward to the Confessions on the Dance Floor Part 2 when that comes out later this year, because that's the rumor that it's supposed to be coming out in November. According to Robert, he said that it was on in one of the what was it, the Vogue magazines and one that stuff. But I'm like, where's that article? Because I would love to have read that. But anyway, so yeah, love y'all for checking out the show and watching. It's already out. It's after midnight over here on the East Coast. So yeah, thank y'all for kicking with me on this late show. Because I was like, yeah, even though I was out all day, I still got to give y'all a show and stuff. So yeah, love y'all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in and the constant support. And until next time, ciao, darlings.